sound, but we don't restart again, and we begin from waiting. We've been a talk about, so I get for start all over again. Thank you all. Another beautiful day. We tell God thank you for life. We tell God thank you for all good things. And today, na the 19th of July 2020, like I've been on say, and this coronavirus, where they are among where they in the world, Salone self don't team up for FETAM. Salone self, they do their own waiting and get for do. As of today, the confirmed cases of coronavirus were positive at 1,711, and then we get 65 people that we don't die. And we know we see that they take a tour, which is the NACOVAC, the team where they don't put together for fight this coronavirus na Salone. They go around to them town, to them village, to them side, for try for do random testing, for try for sensitize the people and try for inform the people, say coronavirus is real and coronavirus we get for FETAM, for keep away from me and for keep away from you. So what they advise me, advice and VOS, would they say, when we do waiting, the well body people then say the one the way they before Panam, they say we may wear mask. We see the government don't make mandatory mask wearing. So we tell God thank you for that day, because inside USA Denaya, so like USA me Denaya na Texas, we don't day before they lead the corona, we number them people and they die 2 months now, USA me na Texas. So they say now they don't make a mandatory for we for wear mask. They're gonna do, they're gonna store get for wear mask. So when the government don't say for wear mask, for prevention is better than cure. Some people they say coronavirus not in Africa and not in a Salone. Yes, but what if coronavirus they say wanna do it in and see? Say, because I can see some people and they put the mask down then chin, we don't make no use. Put on say you must, because the World Health Organization self don't talk say na airborne disease. So let we try for protect ourselves and protect others. So then they walk within the able and everything else left to God. Do your own part, I do my own part, and then we left the rest to God, because God said we use wisdom in all things that we do. Today we get Mr. Shillon, when a lawyer, we're based in North Carolina. They don't practice law over 30-something years. He's a very good attorney, defense attorney, and we just bring and come and say can give opinion on what he the based on how the conversation they go. As usual, I get me me co-host when a professor, we honor Professor Kutubu, when instead go can rob much. Well, we're going to ask what do we can't alley today? Why social media can't alley today? Well, we've been supposed to get a guest from Freetown. Now we've tried for accommodating time, but we're not able to get in touch with them. We don't try all kind of way. We're not able. So we go ahead with the Makeni electric Saga. And yesterday we wake up to all this with social media flooded with all this stuff that is going on in Makeni. But before I talk on the Makeni, I bring my guests in, then tell you I do if they want to much small for the coronavirus or whatever, then we go with this Makeni Saga, because this Makeni Saga is trending heavily right now on social media, and everybody gets inside where they look from a lens where they look at this thing. So, Mr. Shillon, sir, can you please?
Thank you very much, Ms. Savage. Thank you very much, producer, co-host, Mr. Kuruma. Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening for people in Salone or other part of the world. I'm Mohammed Shillon, coming from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a lawyer, Naya. So I hope I will be able to contribute really a nothing by the end of the show. That's all for right now.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, and we're glad for Suna here today by more power. I hope it will be a very fruitful and robust discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we decide for bring the Makeni Saga today, the Makeni Saga, and I'll do a small update before we watch the video then. Because we don't hear the Makeni locals them, na the town don't talk the yon. We don't hear the Minister of Energy, na Salone don't talk in yon. And so we want bring and come to the people them, let we all self talk we young and how we see how we waiting and call. So I've been the talk, but when I not be the get sound. And I begin the story like this. From where are they class 7 at St. Anne's? Then in the 70s, 9 Bumbuna Waterfall project done day. Bumbuna Waterfalls na hydroelectric source where we get waterfall, we get water, where the government long time ago we don't see and people them we don't come say una can make this for is una electrical problem, una electricity problem na Salone. So but from that 10 day till today we get water problem. But one thing we know that this hydroelectric power it is supply Makeni. Makeni na one of the tongue them, and one of the city then a free tongue we not get light problem. But Makeni get 2 backup transmitters them, generator them, where just in case the Bumbuna water falls, go off, the dam not a work, then go get electric backup. All right. Now, the government say for open the airports. Airports no get electricity. Airports then generator and then transmitter, the way they make them fire them electric, you know they work. So then see them, according to the Minister of Energy, and he say una go yeri and we talk. He say the people them it don't go to the stakeholder than a Makeni. Say, do you we want to take them generator force? Then we carry 1 pound a generator, they go. Then we take one from another place, King Tom. We go put on a Lunge because Lunge need light. In claim say, in tell the stakeholder, the mayor, and then people that we get where they run Makeni say, I go want this generator. Now they say they go get back to them. They say, so I don't know who said the miscommunication or the communication chain broke. He said 1 month they not talk to them. Now in go now, he give orders for go take the generator. Where go take the generator, the young man and woman they were in a Makeni, then see them in the young eye, I don't know what's in them, they think, I don't know what's in the interpretation, but then see and say they one can take the generator for care and go, and then need them just in case the light go off. So then take with the policeman, then they get to go next thing you know, according to Uma Fofana in your report yesterday, 4 lives have been perished. They don't kill 4 people them, and then 10 people injured. But on social media, then they say more people them don't die. Where they go on right now, we don't know which one are the right one because we don't get from a confirmed source. But on social media, they say more people don't die, more people they don't get they're injured. So the count is wrong. But the question where with the Lena table and where people in the talk is, why today number 1 we forget light problem? Why people then get for die for a simple thing like that day where then for sit down at the table or then for find another solution? Why we army man them and we policeman them, then they get orders for shoot to kill. There are many ways to de-escalate situation where it go out of hand. But why is it always, that is the question that a lot of Sierra Leoneans are asking, why make people then get for die for simple thing as moving a generator from one thing to the other? But some people then again come with this argument say, there is a minister of the northern province, what they call Abu Abu. 1 or 2 months ago, Abu Abu made a statement about 6 weeks ago. He made a statement, he made a video that go viral on social media where calls President Bio for withdraw him and suspend him from imposition. And this are the paraphrase what he say. He said, we go, if una misbehave na ya, if I come for una, I don't tell the AG, I don't tell the this, we go shoot una, we go kill una. Those are the words of Abu Abu. And we go broke una foot, and then una mama then go cry for una, and then we go deal with una parents and back because they born bastard picking them. We not sabi for behave. Those were the words of our resident minister. President Bio Pulande, then we don't know what in transpire in the back room. President Bio reinstate him back. It pleases the president for getting back in position, because that's what the letter says, the thing say. So people and they say now, who side the orders come out for shoots to kill? If we picking them, we brother, then we sister, then deserve for die, just because that simple generator for moving from one side to the other. If the policeman then train enough and the soldier man then, because we see policeman and soldier man uniform, many times excessive force has been used. Was this too excessive for picking them people, then young man and woman, then for perish just like this? That is the question today. That is the question for we government. That is the question for we people. Then what do you think? Una give una your opinion to this talk? Because I want let we listen first to the account according to AYV, the reporter them we've been there on the ground. Let una yeri we own brother and sister they own talk within a Makeni. Then we yeri the minister on. Then I go pass on to my panel. Then I go open unto we all, because we all have voice of Sierra Leone and we get for talk more than talk here and we get for find solution, because people are dying because of simple things. And the question is, how can we stop this? What you know, wanna take how we get for talk to this government for let them understand, to the police then say this is not the way for do certain things there. So let's pass on to the technical team. Can you please play these videos? AYV, courtesy of AYV, that then be there on the ground and then give this report. So let's go, please.
You update of what happened from this morning, you know, how it was this morning. We will come and continue back with the program before we go live to our colleagues and we're on ground presently na Makeni.
A standoff erupts around 12 midnight over the relocation of a standby generator from Makeni to Lunge. This still continues between youths and security personnel. Here is an account of what we witnessed in the major streets of Makeni.
Yes, concerned about this machine in business. Again, and for say they can't let people also for darkness. No, not to say where they can say where they want can go the machine. And it's like we come up for say you do riots. No, just the God see some German and they see the booty. When I like bullets, when they don't fire but 5 bullets. You oppose the old arm for say he old stick. No, yeah. Good advice. Now me free. All are Sierra Leoneans. Okay, now talk to me politely. No, why they could they ask for a couple? Why this week now? Yes, what happened now? And this machine for say, you know they go. Somebody they can't fire. Here my room. And the minimum about map now. Now they my room password. Say they fire the bobo. When fire the bobo, they kick the bobo back. He calls say look this bastard PPR. Say he gets swear.
I get pressure. The big men said get pressure. Only let me for sleep. Then they fire no more. No, they fire. And I like bullets. Then they fire.
It's always say, or the explanation you give me now, it's always say the machine, then they come for Kalina for 3 months. For then can go na Lunge. Because you know say if you not get the lights Lunge within this week here, say the band the light snake inside again. But we asked the question yesterday, why you not do one Sanse or you not make a known to the public when next they come for and for can dig for Pula. And the question asked first I will make man there's no back no agree, so no agree.
Now, they take up for some don't get left in a salon. They went some of my election. I don't get for it. Don't get for vote. Don't get for vote.
Now that would have been beginning school fees. Market not the sum of food. Man they don't die. You know get no other side forget. Pass with the side water, side yogurt,
go last night you don't know nothing really don't sleep. It's my peer last night and this morning now they watch. But nothing they go on, you understand? The soldier man come up from up and I will see them the mass one bike my only done at the street. So it's my play watch. I'm not Nazi with map the watch waiting they go on. The guy just we are gun sound, but will not be known. This become behind the deny say. They say it might be saying an electronic gun and they use not to live bullet. But what they use now, live bullet or not to live bullet, we just wear the bobot map and they say, but we then now we on veranda now. What's up? Not all I'm not Nazi. In the so we don't know if now live bullet they use or not. But like what's the shit here? We self convinced. If not what's man they kill you. And we no go, we no all arm. We not even out with this. We lead us and you can always say this government. We lead us the way and they can not understand. They not even value the life of the Sierra Leoneans. They ain't no problem. They not value the life of the Sierra Leoneans. What do we do then? Thank you. We not even front. Thank you very much.
Gunshots and tear gas canisters were almost all over the central business district, as well as neighborhoods adjacent to the EDSA facility.
Even doing anything. Got it? Got it?
Wait, can I? Hey, sit down.
So far, about 4 people have been confirmed dead, whilst over 10 have sustained serious injuries. Stakeholders, including administrative wing of the Makeni City Council, security sector, and EDSA, neither comment on the ongoing nor the relocation of the said generator. As it is now, a curfew is in place, preventing all social and economic activities in Makeni. This is the situation on ground. Military personnel are manning the main entrance to the EDSA office. This has disrupted the main activities of business people and other passerbys. As you can see now, passerby who are coming from this particular point are being stopped as a result of this riot. Well, the security personnel are trying to stop these angry protesters from entering the main EDSA office. And this is the main route leading to the EDSA office. For AYV Primetime News here in Makeni, I am Jonathan Pangu.
Well, that's my colleague Jonathan Pangu. Has they all been there out this morning, for bring live updates right to our studios here in Freetown. And as this Sunday happened, we don't try for talk to authorities on ground in Makeni. So far, we're not able to get anybody from EDSA or EGTC for talk to we. But my other colleague, Salifu Cherno Kamara, they with the Minister of Energy, Alaji Kanjasi say, we been they Cambia, they travel actually right across the country. I'm sure then go to Moyamba now. Then they go around and they signed some agreement for electricity, programs them. So Salifu Cherno Kamara been talked to Alaji Kanjasi say on this issue and at this been get for say.
It is true that I gave directives to move one of 2 machines from Makeni to bring it to Lunge. The situation is that we have problems with our machines in Lunge. Lunge hosts the international airport. Government has given directives to reopen the airport, and in anticipation of that reopening of the airport, we decided that since our machines in Lunge are not functioning right now, let us take one of 2 machines in Makeni to bring to Lunge. And the reason is as follows. Makeni enjoys uninterrupted electricity throughout the year because Makeni is on hydro. So the machines in Makeni are just standby facilities. We don't use them, especially during the rainy season. Now that the hydro is working, there is no need for the machines in Makeni right now. So I give directives that since we have problems with electricity in Lunge, let's move one of those machines on a temporary basis to Lunge until we are able to repair the Lunge machines and take the machines back. I did not just do this for nothing, and I've given you the background. Process-wise, I sent my permanent secretary, the Director General of EGTC, and some other engineers and the local staff of EGTC in Makeni to go and hold a stakeholder engagement in Makeni. Under the chairmanship of the Mayor Sonka, We informed them about our intention to tell them that we are just borrowing these machines to Lunge for a temporary period. We are bringing the machine back to Makeni once we repair the machines in Lunge. They asked us to give them a week that they will consider. It's over a month now. They have not still given the green light to go and collect those machines. And the machines are needed. Now the airport is open. The machine is needed there. So I informed the IG because we wanted to avoid any problems. To my dismay, I heard that last night the youths went all over the place, stoning, burning tires and all of that. And this is after I had called the Secretary General of the APC, Mr. Usmani and myself. I engaged the mayor myself. I gave all of them the background in terms of what we intend to do. So there was nothing we did not do. In the meeting in Makeni, I'm informed that there were civil society representatives and the press who covered the whole thing. Yeah. So there was, a very careful process in the whole thing to inform the people of Makeni what our intention is. It's unfortunate that it can resort to this kind of thing. I'm really disappointed.
All right. We don't hear the Minister of Energy. The Minister of Energy again forced to we guessed Mr. Shillon. We don't hear waiting to happen. We don't see waiting to happen. Waiting are you on so far for where you are at before I go to Kutubu?
Well, several things wrong, Naya. First of all, now the way the delegate, well, there seems to have been a breakdown of communication. It seems like listening to the minister explaining what happened. Because if indeed it take all those steps, then they, sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If indeed it take all those steps, then they, by trying to communicate to the authorities in Makeni about them coming over and taking the machine. I now see Sierra Leone being such a small country with modern communication equipments, cell phones, emails, texting. I do not understand how should it have been so hard over 1 month. The message didn't come out loud and clear that the government was going to come and pick up the transformer or the generator. That doesn't mean, the government was doing the right thing, but just that breakdown of communication is kind of puzzling, because they need to up the game a little bit. Because my concern with Sierra Leone is we'll continue to operate in this 19th century lifestyle, governmental kind of structure. But we're in the 21st century, as I keep saying. We need to modernize a lot of things. Gone are the days when we could begin say we're Africans. Therefore, everything that is so substandard is we're deserving of it. No, we're not. So what you don't understand here, the distribution of the generators, of the transformer. Lunge is where we have the international airport. That is the main gateway to the country. It seems to me everything Lunge, particularly Lunge Airport, is given should be top of the line, should be reliable, should be efficient, So I have no sympathy for the government or the minister where the talk say, oh, the machines, and he's talking about machines, not even one machine. The machines, they're not woke. So what kind of machines are these? That all machines are not woke at the same time. It appears to me that these are substandard machines, not the machines way worth anything. Now, we have to let the young people back home know that they cannot take matters into their hands. That's why you have government. When I can express discontentment. And in this case, yeah, they were upset, they were rowdy, but I've seen no evidence of the kids or the young people engaging in any kind of violent conduct or behavior to justify We don't even talk about excessive force now. We talk about unreasonable force, grossly unreasonable force. Because, so what? The kids go out there, they make a lot of noise. Hey, we can't take a machine. That does not even justify an arrest because there's a constitution of the country. They get a right for demonstrate and get a right for protest. It's all a matter of to what extent that is done. If the protests deteriorate into lawlessness by trying to destroy property, there are laws on the books. You arrest people for vandalism, for destruction of property. So the leaders then should have made this known for say, young people, first of all, we encourage you now for stay out of the street. But if you now for demonstrate, realize there is a line of demarcation. You can make all the noise you want, but do not be confrontational to the point of being violent. And if you engage in any destructive behavior, you will be arrested and prosecuted. But I have seen no evidence of these kids engaging beyond anything more than what the Constitution grants them. That is the right for assemble, the right for disagree, the right for demonstrate, all of which seems to me within the bounds of the law. The lawlessness is being perpetuated by the government itself. So first of all, what role does the army have here? They should have none. This is a complete contravention of military justice, military law, military requirements for any country. They don't forget any role for go pick up a transmitter. The army. The army should have nothing to do with this kind of law enforcement. The army, they're not considered, they're not a police. The police, now they're in law enforcement. So the problem I get with the minister, as much as I think, say, the kids should just stay out of this thing sometimes, I don't get any sympathy for the minister for even say, oh, they may not give ample notice to the people, then therefore, then come for take the thing, and then the minister even say, in here is say, the kids them in the stone. So you're not produce any evidence of that, because in today's world, if you're going to be on video, you better get your evidence together. So the minister has not produced any evidence, so we have to take it that the kids were within the bounds of the law and that the government engaged in lawlessness. And this thing about shooting people to injure them, let alone to kill, there has to be accountability. You cannot have government, because then people are, then Sujamaya would go and kill, then they act under color of law. Somebody give them all, then they act with impunity, thinking that there will be no accountability. They should start holding them to account. Even if you fire a gun without shooting at anyone, they should be required to justify why were their shots fired. Until we engage in this kind of balancing act, where we can govern and make everybody know how far they can push them right. The army, if they come for assist the police for demonstrate tranquility, how far they can go, and how far they not for go, and whoever is giving orders. Until we do that, we will get a repeat of this kind of lawlessness on the part of the government. Army is becoming a pattern. Look at the prison riots. The army coming there. For all we know, a lot of innocent lives were lost unnecessarily, when it turns out in truth and in fact, there was no riot. So how so many lives, and rumor has it that up to 100 lives got wasted. I mean, so why this bloodthirstiness that we get an army that is always ready to just kill and shoot? And the unfortunate side of it is that we poor nephews, nieces, they're the ones who are getting the brunt of this kind of thing. Now, I recall that minister, I may not know his name, Abu, but if you check one of our broadcasts, I remember condemning that statement of the minister. We talk to them, go broke food. That was a very inappropriate statement by a minister. I am somewhat disappointed that the president keeps rehiring people whose conduct are not conducive, it seems like, to in administrative policy. You fire people, you rehire them. Does he have such a limited pool of intelligent, educated, qualified people that he can't go beyond that limited number of people? I don't want to think so. I think Sierra Leone has a lot of smart, well-educated, balanced thinking people. So we have a situation where the current Attorney General is one who was once fired not too long ago. Now he's been rehired. I would strongly suggest to the president that he stop the practice of rehiring people he's already fired. Because if people are fired or because of inappropriate behavior, the fact that you put them in another position doesn't change their character. They're the same people. So these are some of the take we may get from the whole thing about what happened to Makeni. It's unfortunate lives get lost. I think people should be held accountable. And I think for the poor soldier man himself who go do the shooting, if they were under orders, I don't want for them to be used as a scapegoat, but they should be prosecuted, maybe fired, but not to the point of being punished severely because somebody above them gave them that order and they are trying to please, unless they never get any such order. Why are they even giving them life ammunition for a situation like that? I have no idea. But this thing about Makeni get unused transmitter, it makes sense if you look at the whole situation that Lunge needs one. But why didn't Lunge have one in the first place? Now we international showcase that one day. We are talking about foreign investors, is that where they come from abroad, not to Makeni in the land, not to Board in the land, now Lunge in the land. That's where we should we put on the best show. So why give Lunge machines they want to work? Nothing seems to make sense because the disappointment at Sierra Leone, you get all them book money here, but they seem to have left them common sense behind. And this is not a problem which they happen because some of the policy they wouldn't engage in, it's a little bit disappointing. So my thing is, I'm sorry that one has to see so many things wrong, but lives are sacred. You just can't be going around shooting and killing innocent people. That's it.
Professor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I think for that, you know, this year and a show where before doing in England with Mr. Prince Kuruma now and then. Now, coming to this topic, I get an entirely different approach to it. And what I do, I go back to waiting the chief host do with how far they lay the case. First of all, for start with, the generator, whatever it is, it belongs to the people of Salone. But now we will also remember, like I always tell people then, you left for talk about history. History very, very important for widening the horizon, so you go know whose side they go, whose side they go. Within we get visited by the coronavirus. What happened? President Trump take the medical hospital. He take him from another state. He can't go to another state because he want help the situation. He take the medical the hospital. Then at the vessel, he can't go under. The question is, President Trump even need for seek anybody permission for that? No, because he work for the he believes it is now for the citizens. Okay, not put that aside. Me advice to we with this donor, no, be very careful how they express opinion. I don't hear into order to shoot to, shoot to kill, shoot. The question we want to ask ourselves again, go back to history. We will now get any evidence who can come out that Mr. ABCD on other people then they shoot and kill. If we get the evidence, fine. No, we got to the people.
Professor, let me stop you 1 second, sir. 1 second. When you carry ammunition, when you are in a force, you have a leader. you have superiors, and superiors give orders. They give orders. So that's how they are there. The police, they are there. The army, they are there. If they give them bullets, every bullet is accounted for. Every time, like where they go to the range, or where they go training, or where they go to a combat situation. Every time you come, you empty your magazine. You get for account for every bullet shot. So they have accountability, they have responsibility, and orders come from above. So let me go ahead.
No, take that premise. Orders come from above. Fine. No, take us. Okay. No, go. If then this year you will bring logic inside it. Will bring logic. Logic is coming into factor now. If we accept them, say orders are coming from the above, so should they not go back to waiting happen now in Ghana University College? So when you go back to your logic now, so as well assume say yes, the shooting of a student will be demonstrated now in Ghana University. In fact, it was an order that came from above. That if we go by your logic, we can.
They come out from the people that were there at the police. They come out from the department.
Okay. What is I'm saying? We're not sure, but if you don't do that premise, you don't call that premise. Now, if we accept your premise, yeah, but if we accept your premise, then we might as well accept the premise. Say yes, the shooting of people in Ghana University, I mean, it was an order that came from above. So then
the
again,
police commissioner should be held accountable.
Fine, okay, we'll come to that. Yeah, I'll come to the climate of blame and responsibility. We go back. You see, like I said, I make a listen carefully to the argument. Pick things from the argument for that. We go back to we go back to this question of consulting. Fine. Yes, if I out of courtesy, let them tell the people that. Now the question now where me and you except we get empirical evidence for support this, and we'll not go talk with certitude now. We'll just talk in generality.
No, Professor, I would not do that because those are professional organizations. They are soldiers. They are soldiers.
Right. We move
from above.
Yeah, we move.
Commander, whoever is in charge that deployed them.
Okay, we will hold on to that.
Then the mission is they forgot do. They already know better. And when you reach there, how you see the situation, that's why they change. The orders are coming back from above.
Okay, fine. Okay, we will hold on to that. Then we will move the argument, go further. Moving the argument, go further is this. The question is, why? What? I mean, the question though, why is it that every now and then? No, before somebody, Mr. Shilo talk about the army being involved in this. But the question we'll go ask Mr. Shilo. Now today the army they work with the police, involved in civilian matters. No, the question is how do we solve this? We go back to Parliament and let them make a law say the army cannot be part of waiting a civilian job, meaning that the police, we cannot I can come up with evidence for sure when the army don't get involved in civilian matters, I can come up with that evidence and you guys will find a very hard for refute. So the only thing, see, we all now go accept the army for be part of the police operations. So this is why we bring with Parliament again. Say, wait a minute, you guys need to step up to that responsibility for do this. Because me believe say we went by waiting the minister talk the whole listen. If they may not go through all this, they say okay, they come. This will be just something. Go take that thing, and then you go staff. Just go take them, and you go staff. There should be no need for even demonstration for they go there. Waiting before happen at the people and the stakeholders them. Now then before don't tell the people. They say okay. Then they come over for take this TR go. They put them at ease, but nobody said anything. So this is where the question of breakdown in communication. Now I want someone by telling you what's all together now, and until again, we are going to continue talking about this problem every now and then. Waiting we now need for beginning for answers. What is happening here on both sides, both SFPP and APC? They are always using they use here, then they use them for the bidding. If you listen to you listen to the tape, the minister says he tell this, he tell the mayor, he tell Yansane. For why should Yansane even be consulted Yasane not to a resident of Makeni and one. This not there for do anything there for politics. Why do you have to tell Yasane? You've already told the mayor. You've already told the other people that how Yasane go factor into this. So, Neo summation of this, how many sum up until both political parties, both SFPP and APC, left for the use they use them for do and bidding. And like I say again, these guys that whatever they listen to, they're your family members. They never they yonder. If you go look at it up yonder, so today the politicians and the stakeholders, they're your family members. You know, they not one of them suffer. You know what happened. These are the gullible people. So they use now. Then they sit down and take their own they future to their hand. Certain things that they use your intelligence and now they say no, this is not good for me. This for put me saying that this. I don't hear people they talk. I don't hear people they talk now. If anybody talk at the Michael this thing will happen at this country. No, you cannot make that statement in it. Nobody's above the Supreme Court.
And then the person that don't talk back say, Mother Bill, the same thing.
What is what I'm saying? That's why I said.
Don't pull cutlass.
Exactly. That's why. I mean, you know the whole one person.
It's on both sides. It's on both sides.
Exactly, both sides. I'm not one person. I mean, my argument is we were the there. Let we begin the profile solution that this is not good for the country. Let we begin appeal to the calculus of the youth. Them say these go on and they go on and they stick on and on the line. When they put it's not good for the country, it's not even good for una. Now 4 people they don't die. These politicians, they know they do, not to your family members in that. Not to the family.
But should they have died? That is the question. Should they have died? Should they have been that is the question.
Any life loss is not acceptable. Any life loss is not acceptable. So therefore, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, any life loss. So therefore, we on job now for actually begin to sensitize the psychological attitude of the youth, then that this is not good. Certain things that they want that they get involved in, it's plainly not good. It's not even good for una. It's not good for una. Now we on job now for preach this talk to them. These politicians are using them for do the bidding, and it's not helping. Now that we go really want to happen, other than the because they blame them on both sides. Me and you finally. We are not saying that audio or that video when the APC leader called MPs or he called MPs or and see what I do to some Sumane. Anybody who form with me, I go kill you. I beg you. I drink champagne over my heads. How can we get with political leaders and they make that kind of a statement in it? So it is problem on both sides, both SFPP and APC. We for take the middle of the road for advocate against things that is not good for the country. Can
we technical team, I think I will send you that Abu tape. I don't know if you're gonna get it handy. If not, you cue it for me. I will give me Shashil on time for talk. But I want to let you cue for me. Let we listen. Because why I'm saying this, why we have to say these are the people that are chosen, that have been selected to rule us. And that is their frame of mind. The youths, they get problem, we know that. Our youths get problem where they get for fix, we know that. And the president, I will give him kudos because he make a youth government. Wherefore involve and get involved. But like I say again, it is not only, I pray to God, it is not only for just say I get a youth government. Because when we're dealing with problems, when we have subjects, they have to be part of the conversation. Not just subjects that educated people will therefore talk about, but these people have to be in the conversation for them to make the change that is needed. And everybody, every little way you make decisions for people, you therefore bring the people. If you're making cracker this, get for candy. If you're making talks, get for candy. Whatever they label them as such, then get for calm, for let them can solve the problem. Because what the FBI does in America, if they have a jailbreak, somebody will tap into a computer, they hire that person for picking mind for know what's how we manage for them, so they go avoid them for next time. So that's the same thing. We governments them, you know, government after government, they have neglected our people, our young people. And what's in me they try for say, do these people have to die? Do they have to be shot?
No, don't just say no. No.
Too much force in places, and these are professionals that are getting orders. They are policemen. If you wear policeman uniform, you get an organization what they call Sierra Leone Police. And nobody from Parliament's Kandong, nobody is calling, say, let us do an inquiry, what happened over there. Nobody is saying anything. And that is the frustration of a whole bunch of Sierra Leoneans. Well, no matter what side of the aisle you foresee that they say, with people then cannot be dying like this for that kind of stuff. Mr. Shilonza, I don't know if you have anything else to add to this conversation.
Well, just a little, because I agree with Mr. Kuruma that the minister should not be calling or notifying the Secretary General of the APC because he not get no governmental function for which in consultation is necessary. That is just an unnecessary contact and highly political attempt for just make things look like things are being done right. The thing we may not agree with Mr. Kuruma is the blame cannot be shared equally. Government gets the main responsibility for enforce the law and for maintain order. So my position is when these youth, first of all, it appears to me that if the minister indeed contact the mayor and the other officials them in the town, some misinformation must have been passed to the youth for them for react. They wouldn't react. I agree with Mr. Kutubu that maybe they could have just come in and take the transformer and go without any fanfare. But that not happen. But we have to be very careful. Again, if we want to run government, let us try for running right. There is a reason why there is a constitution. You cannot get a constitution, then you say youth have no right to demonstrate. As much as we may not like it, then get a right for going a treat, then get a right for make noise, then get a right for oppose, reasonably or unreasonably, as long as they stay within the bounds of the law. That, my own take on that. So if we look at from the prism of APC, SLPP, we will always make mistake, because otherwise what you would see, we just see a repeat. APC can't do their own thing, SLP can't do their own thing. But if either one of them parties here interested in really governing, you know, when you send the police for Kantik transformer, as I said earlier, the youth not get no business for obstruct because no lawlessness down there. I agree. But again, I have not seen any evidence of obstruction. What I have seen is evidence of the kids making a whole lot of noise, talking about, we can't take a transmitter, you know? Well, what were they going to do if the army come and start taking the transmitter? Were they going to arrest the army and the kids? So I don't seem to understand why it was such a big deal. They still moved the transmitter anyway, to my understanding. It's not there anymore. So the government share more blame now because they could have ignored these kids and take the transmitter and go. Particularly the central government get the transmitter anyway, not to the local government get up. So I don't even see why he end up the way he end up. And lives to be lost? No. I mean, that situation did not call for any life to be lost. I don't know how we end up that way there. 4 people or more being killed. That's all I have to say.
You see, I want to talk to my audience there a little bit. When Anderson Cooper sit on a chair, when he get a guest or when he get a situation, they talk, even though they ask question, they push question, and they give opinion too. I am here, this is my view. This is social media review. I am a Sierra Leonean that is frustrated. You can call me APC, you can call me SLPP. God is the one that judges because God knows my heart. I care about people. If now you brother them been killed or sister, them been killed like how them kill and so like fall in the streets. Una they talk on party lens. I don't speak to party. I don't owe obligation to no party. I respect the leadership of any position because they have been given that position. I respect leadership. I want them to do well, because if Sierra Leone better, we all go better. I'm retired. Long time ago, I don't retire, and I had early retirement on the medical. I'm retired, but I'm stuck in Sierra Leone. I help my people in Sierra Leone. The burden of our people is in Sierra Leone. But when we have recycled politicians, when we have people that have done wrong and they come back in the next cycle, they're coming back to do, it's the same mentality, and we are not changing and we are not growing. But if people see me to be what they seem to be because of the narrow mind that their horizon is not broadened to see the real past, the real situation, then I'm sorry, I pray for you for let you get there one day and you will understand what you have to say. You know, but what is the frustration when soldier man then they go on the streets and go shoot for kill? And these are the things, because I want to play that audio there for me. Somebody they ask a question, what Abu don't pass. When a minister, where governments give power for go make sure say they oversee an area, when he speaks that we will kill, we will shoot to kill, and today and a Friday night, Saturday morning, it manifests itself. I can always say words have life. When you speak, there are people listening to you. There are people that hold you to a higher standard, that listens to you. No matter what, it is the gospel truth. Whether you lie or you can manipulate somebody's mind. That's why they tell us we have to have our own mind. We have to think. When you hear something, shuffle the one way good, come on the left, the one way bad. Try for think for yourself, not go with what in somebody else to tell you. Because sometimes people have their agendas that they think. I don't care if you label me APC today, but the truth is there are mothers crying for their children. There's a wife crying for her husband. There's a child crying for their father. Or their mother. And
just a second. Also, we are also concerned. Just a second. We go from dusk to dawn, from January to December. We go talk this issue. We don't already talk. So both political parties that are responsible for this, because they kind of either inside the youth or give them. Therefore, what we need for do now, we as a people that will take an independent and honest position where we want to see the country go before. We are job now for being appeal to the calculus of the youth them. Say these guys they go now, they go stick on a neck out for it's not worth it, because none of the people they know they. Now this they need to understand. Them picking they know they, them brother they know they, the sister they know they. Now then they. I can bet you they be unfortunate here we happen so. Everybody there so. None of anybody under the reality not a part of her. We your job as we they condemn them. Let us begin come up with solutions. And one solution now for begin appeal to the calculus of the youth. Them say we not get a future for tomorrow. We not allow them to for use as a guinea pig. We not allow that. We not continue to say we not send a good human being like that. The positions that when they take not to rights, not to privilege, not to divine other color. Now a privilege they take. We not say can be MPs then. We not can be ambassadors then. We not can be a president. We now also begin to take your destiny. Now that way for the preach now. We go to see that all that we condemn that politician, which is very right. But does that solve the problem? No. What we look for solutions. Then we appeal to then we go and study them. Where the heartless politician and they use so and abuse and dump. Now that I want that we talk about. Don't let them put because this is how they are. But then we not take up.
But they're doing it. They continue to do it. We can talk to the youth.
Appeal to them.
We can fix the youth them problem, but the politician themselves get problem. Because what good is knowledge when you don't have wisdom? What good then is your education when you know they use wisdom to condition to situation, and the policeman then they don't give their orders. They come out there, they act, they don't use their head. We get what puts these people in check. Because if we don't put it, it can be me or you tomorrow. And that's like I can talk to you on the side. I tell you my situation. Say, sometimes I am afraid for my people when I speak. And then I don't care. Because sometimes you have to say what you have to say. If the truth is unpopular, you get for stand and say them sometimes. You get for stand and say them. We for live in a country where we for able for demonstrate. 1977, I was in the demonstration, no college, no school. I get a scar na my foot right now. I get a mark where they open fire per week, na cutting tree. They open fire with me. They go up, State House. They open fire for we with the college, all the school in Africa, Western area were there at that demonstration. All the people there. We jump into this. We were demonstrating, no college, no school, for whatever reason. What did they do? They opened fire. They shot tear gas at us. They killed us. They're doing the same thing. They are doing the same thing up till now. Why we not going to change? Why we not going to grow? Why we not going to learn from our mistake? You professors say history is important. Why our people, why our leaders don't learn? Why our children don't grow? Why are these things keep happening? That is the question. Why do we have to stand by silently and watch it go on and afraid to speak because they're going to label you or they're going to see you somewhere? Label me all you want. It don't matter to me no more. It don't really matter. But I get frustrated. That's why
we are not standing silently. We are not standing silently by. We are not silent. But the fact remains to, like we say, the climate of blame will go from December to January. It's going to be there. The people that go for target, like the youth self for target, say, oh no, these guys are not doing any good. Okay. Yes, SFPP is responsible. SFPP they cause problem. So also it's APC. The question is, where are the youths? Now we focus for being the youths there. Now therefore be the youths there. Suddenly they look at be commodity. No, go do that. No. Where the people there? Where are the people? They are not there. None of them, the young people, they're not there. Them people are with that. So unfortunately, if you watch, no one know the way they connected to the politician and what they are doing. For example, Yasane picking the open bank. Yasane picking up in Makeni, not be dead. So we on job now for let them know say no, it's not good for you. Now we on job now for help them, use them, platform them. That this is not helping you. These guys are the only tool they need now. When election come, you don't see them until election come. When they can you now after they go, you don't see them until after 4.5 years. Then go see them come back. So we on job now for appeal to the calculus of the youth them. So no, the leaders said tomorrow, we are not taking there for them people they are so. Then they not use that like a guinea pig. That na me argument and that I will stand on that. As far as the politicians, these guys are again not up to anything. Now you get for me. Begin
act, then therefore begin talk. Will Parliament therefore begin ask questions?
Exactly. So these are the areas we get for go.
Why our police? Why our army? They kill with people. That is the question. That is the question. Why are they killing our people? Why citizens of Sierra Leone get for die with the bullets that they paid?
Exactly. Why police and army for the civilians
of Sierra Leone? They're supposed to defend the borders from enemies. We are not the enemy. The people of Sierra Leone are not the enemy. The police is there for the local affairs. The police able for such things. Right now is America. We see where America stand up to the police and say the police and they pick on one set of people. We see what happened. We see the demonstration. We see the losses where it caused to the country. Why do we as Sierra Leone, we have to start asking the questions why? We have to, it's our right to ask why. We have to ask the questions why. And that is what we parents they don't do for the longest time. How for do God day? We self be done there into that mentality they have for do. But now that we have seen the light, thank God for that. We cannot sit silently by and allow it to happen and for the next generation to go into this foolishness. Come on now.
Well,
Mr. Shilon, sir, take over here.
But no matter how do this, like I said, the youths and at the end for take your future to their hand. No matter what happen, we go sit down and give all the blame same. But in the final analysis, the youths them that then for taking
it is their responsibility. We understand. It is the individual's responsibility. In everything you do, the responsibility
is
right. Because the individual is responsible. I have said that many a time. You have to think, if they say can't go do this,
that's right.
Fire, you know, say fire the body, you not go do it.
That's right.
But then again, in the psychology eye, when you look at it, the conditions around them, they're not able to win themselves away from such behaviors. How do they win themselves from such behavior? The government has to create social services for them to take themselves out of there. Until then, we continue to have a bunch of this kind of thing. Until then. But like I say, I give the government credit. It don't make government, it say it don't make youth government, young people government. So I hope say they will be part of the conversation for bring the change that we need, for bring the change upon the young people. I pray to God it works that way because we need it. and we police them and we army them and the one that were there, because if not be me and President Bioga right now, don't fire first of all the commander.
The parliament with those sides. It's not
the commander in chief or whoever was in charge of
President Bio not to be all and end all, not to the alpha and omega in politics. We also need for good service. We also need for holding other branches of government responsible. The parliament is also there. Well, for it's not everything that has to be President Bio.
We know that, but when you hire, you're the one that hires certain people. If they be misbehaving, get rid of them. Stop the lawyer.
Because these guys have they ever called for investigations? They've not done any investigations.
Yeah.
Called for inquiries? No.
But the parliament, we don't blame them. The executive too get them right, then power. And if me not president, because it is my name, it is my administration, it is mine. Anything that carries your name, you have to carry it with honor and pride and dignity. And there are some people, we have said it over and over. There are some people in President Bio's administration don't belong there. I don't care the education. I don't care the thing. They don't have the stuff. The agenda is different. And if me with President Bio, some people there, I don't get rid of them.
Yes,
but I am
accept the fact that President Bio not own Salone. We need for accept the fact that President Bio not own Salone. Salone is supposedly you know own Salone. You know doesn't own Salone.
He hired them. I'm not talking about owning Salone. I'm talking about the hiring and the firing.
Fine. Okay, hiring. That's fine.
Just
if you go hire people the way we get gross personal incompetence, they're not able to deliver. That's why we have elections. That's why elections have consequences. The people that won through the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box, then go decide if you were a competent manager. It's as simple as that.
But my point is,
election they can't take place like that. The people, the citizens are going to decide whether Mr. Trump is a good manager or not.
But my point is, now you bring unto me attention the last time, say, when President Bio appoints and fire and let go and release people, then the right there, it pleases the president.
That's what it says.
It pleases the president, hold up. And me, that's what I'm saying. If it pleases the president, that means, say, every behavior that you do, all what you do, it please me. If it not please me, I go take you out of the job. Because some of these people, the way they are behaving, the way they are carrying out, the way they are thinking, they don't need for that. But then in African politics, it's too much loyalty. We owe alliance to things and people and organization and stuff. And that is our problem. How will we go before? How change will come if we continue in this pattern? Mr. Shillong,
the answer is very simple. The people then by their votes, then will decide whether you're not a good manager or not. The only question that can happen in November. All this way they happen in America, Mr. Trump, he said, fine. In the final analysis, the people that by their votes, then go past that judgment, and that goes for President Bio. If you pass it for higher incompetent people, then you don't trust the way I come, now this I go do, now this I they do, now this I do. At the end of the time, the citizens they go look back, then they go back, they do like, okay, the president be promised with this. Then they begin you grade. The president be promised when they don't say you are out of office. It's as simple as that. You're out of office. So that a lot of you, if you hire incompetent people, that's on you. It says more of you than the people the way they hire. Look at a guy like Solomon Jamiu. How you going to fight corruption? You still have a guy like Solomon Jamiu in your government. So when you go in and go begin talk about corruption, you say, wait a minute. You're talking of corruption here. But how about Solomon Jamiu? How you able to account for this? The people that get the cognitive intelligence for decide for themselves if you now be a good manager or not. Like I said, we focus now that the youth them, we really get for appeal to the calculus. Say this way they do so, they are not helping themselves. They need for take the new future to their hand. Now that for me focus.
Let me just add to what is being said. I agree that we must appeal to the youth. As I said earlier, the youth need to be encouraged, because we have to bear in mind, the youth do have constitutional rights. They do have governmental rights. And they do have protection. And two things politicians them afraid: demonstration and the press. That's why a lot of times politicians always want quell demonstration and freedom of the press, because that's how they get exposed. So demonstrations historically always come about through the youth. We see that even in America, and the young people in the take on the street. Even Congressman John, I forget the name, the congressman who just passed. You know, we realize for say, now we're young, we're 18, he start engaging in this demonstration. Dr. Martin Luther King, even in the younger years. So youth have a role.
Talk about John Lewis, sir?
John Lewis, I'm so sorry. I should not even forget that name, but it kind of escaped me. I apologize. Okay. So youth, you can't tell youth not to participate in protest. You cannot tell them not to engage in the exercise of a political right. And the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Now, to some extent, I agree with Mr. Kuruma. That is for child appeal to the calculus of the youth, them not to engage in violence, not to engage in lawlessness. I think we all will agree to that. For let them realize, say, when politicians begin for encouraging and for go cause havoc, they are misusing you people. Because then you're picking, they not they participate, then your family, they know they participate. Then they are in total agreement. But we cannot issue a blanket warning that youth shouldn't take on the streets, they shouldn't protest. I mean, we go as far back, even into the tribe days, they were youth, when so you can't take that away from the youth. They get it right. And now we want to practice democracy. Democracies get several components. That's why I always say on this show, running government is not easy. So because what I keep seeing, a large number of the people who go into parliament or who are part of the executive, they are not interested in running government. They are there for their own agenda. Because if they are really serious, this is not an easy task. And the thing we will all get for realize, you judge a government by the progressive activities where they engage in. And you want to go into government, making that country a better place than you meet them where you left. So we can't keep rolling the wheel. So to some extent, I agree with Mr. Kutubu, but only to the extent that youth should be told lawlessness, violence, there's no place for that. But beyond that, I'm not going to tell youth they shouldn't demonstrate, they shouldn't protest. As long as they do it within the bounds of the law, that's what democracy is all about. Because the moment you begin free politicians them from protest, and the moment you begin to encourage them, say they can arrest anybody who writes against them, you've killed the essence of democracy. That's my own concern. So the politicians' feet should be held to the fire. Any decision where they make, they therefore calculate. They know norms. They know the society where we are. They know how people are thinking. So now therefore make a decision. Like, again, I agree with Mr. Kutubu. The minister didn't have to ask anybody for go take that transformer there, that government transformer. Like, you just issue order. As a matter of courtesy, like Mr. Kutubu said, it makes a lot of sense to just tell them, say, we can't take that transformer there. It's not like if me get property in a yard, and it's clear and I may get her, I owe you just a simple courtesy for make you know, say, I can't take her or I don't can't take her. But beyond that, I now get for beg you permission for can't take her because I'm young. So the minister may not even see the necessity of him to have done that, but if he said a matter of courtesy, which was good, the communication should have been made efficiently. So it looked like there was a miscommunication. We'll get them picking out, they're all charged up. And if Makeni not get electrical problem, what is the force all about? If they get a continuity of electricity. You see, again, this is much ado about nothing. And one quick thing, Ms. Fadima, you're giving the president kudos for what you call youth government. That I can tell you that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Youth are not, they're not there at that maturity stage that they know what's good for them. It's not going to work. What is going to work? You have to engage them with responsibility, and that is jobs, a future. So all this talk about youth government, this and that, they're playing with their minds, and they're wasting the minds of the young people there. Bring jobs, give them a future. All of this idleness will cut off. I see a video the other day where somebody, one fellow, they pay the SAPP youth them, they give them cash, you know? So not to steady employment. Why are these young people being given cash? Not to, because when they go out, they go cause trouble. They're not being paid for doing anything responsible. So there's need for stop for misuse the beginning that way there. And so this thing about then the politicians are not getting picking and it's true. And me go even go further. When the politician and they tell the beginning for say when I go cause havoc, say we pa until you Bobo go join we, until you Chichi go join we, and say I'm willing. If you're not willing for them picking and join you, then you know say they misuse you. So I agree to some point. But the youth, they get a right. They get a legal right for demonstrate. No matter how unreasonable it may seem to me and you, as long as they not broke the law. That's all I have to say.
Yes, sir. Professor, you want to say something?
Yeah, okay. Mr. Shilon, I get some issues that I want to clear with you.
Correct.
It's very simple. Now, I want you actually honestly tell me, waiting propel people them for go, propel them for go, who send them for just go take something, object, load down a motoka and can go. How that actually may attract crowd to such a point that they now get for results to this kind of me one call a mayhem. How just for go take something from point A can go to point B. For the question, then we need all the kind of a convoy. That's not the question. Like the minister say, why they not inform the resident minister? I mean the mayor and the resident mayor for currency. They not inform them. You know, if you say that thing that when for job going over as opposed to this extravagant protocol, go get all that. You know, think so. Was that necessary? Forget all the crowd in it.
Well, I agree with you.
Pick up something. Then I can go.
I agree with you 100%. I think misinformation can lead to this, because then youth, then they maybe me and you know far more about the circumstances of the generator they done, and then you think then look it seems to me, I just surmise from the situation that then look and say they can't take a generator from them for go give another part instead of them making clear. First of all, they don't owe any explanation to the youth. And so, get me right on that. Mm-hmm. The government, like you say, they didn't have to explain anything. They just have to extend a simple courtesy and say, well, they can't take this. All of that is correct. But I am certain some misinformation was given to the youth then for say, oh, now we get this machine and they can't take the machine for go lunge. So somebody need to have explained it to the kids and say, no, this is not government. Government get the right to move the machine from point A to point B to point C. Nobody can question them, you know. So but I think it's much ado about nothing. I think the minister, if he has to do it all over again, just give notice and go check on a machine. And then the police, they make them, let people know, say, hey, if you take on the street, you begin to destroy property. But I call one quick thing to your attention, Mr. Kuruma. The thing we're concerning now, you see the young man with the points say they need on the veranda. Then you get them projectile here, we can come and hit the walls and then porch them there. Just imagine if these people were not out there causing trouble and then at the porch, would they have a right to be? Imagine a soldier that shoots directly at the people at the house. Because you see that the video we watch just now, then shows two areas where some project can hit the wall. any one of those people could have been killed. Now, the government cannot encourage such recklessness. I mean, why are you shooting live projectile at people? Now they're us, now they're on porch. See, so we just have to be careful. And that you can't say, oh, then a youth way, then a treat. Now they're on us, then a veranda. With that very easily, someone could have been hit, just like other guys showed the two spots then where the thing hit. You know, these are all the things I'm saying. So the government, listen, now that made them entrust them with the responsibility. It's their job. We can't hold them to equal footing as ordinary people. They are the ones elected to run the affairs of things. It's like me, if me a passenger in a car or on a bus, my duty of responsibility is not like that of the driver. I can sleep anytime I want, not to me to drive the bus. So these guys who call themselves ministers and all the people they should be held responsible. They can't say, oh, you passenger, you sleep, so me say the driver for sleep. No, now you choose for drive.
Okay, let me treat you under.
Yeah.
You not also think in good conscience, you being an officer of the court, you know, if you say about time not also being now hold the parliament to their feet, not hold their feet to the fire. Because what I see here, day in, night out, on social media, I do see, and everything is the president. We have a tripartite system of governance in the country where we seem to be very oblivious of. You know, also, if we say now we also need for hold the other stakeholders in we governance accountable, you know, also feel so?
I think so. I think we should. The parliamentarians, the justices, you know. I'm in agreement with you. I just make justice fine distinction that lawlessness on the part of youth should not be tolerated. But constitutional rights on the part of the youth, I'm all in favor of it, because I think that's a right they should have. But so me just try to make that distinction, because I think what you say for emphasize and try for tell them and guide them, but part of the guidance we would give the youth them that they right for demonstrate, for put some fear in the politicians them. Like I say, politicians them, one thing they fear bad, not demonstration. Remember, even Pashakin tell
no call it no school.
When people can demonstrate, he can almost go nuts because he's been seeing power sliding in the days of the Indolo, then days. You could see when they wanted them to get a hard time, how he almost lost power. And he didn't get for counting blessing where the army keep interjecting. Otherwise, he would have lost power a long, long time.
Yes, sir. We got caller them. Let we give themselves their own voice. Let themselves join the conversation, please. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's your name? Who say they call me from, and what you are at for this talk, sir?
Mina Abdullah Sisi, the call from New Jersey. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, VOS.
Welcome. Yes, sir.
My own point I want to add to this conversation. First, I want to say with Madam Fadima, I see you make comments about people and response system to issues raised online as soon as they go about the live program. I mean, as me text, you maybe don't see them. I want to make you not bother yourself with them kind of light-headed comments here from these people. We are dealing with the Sierra Leonean population, unfortunately, of which I am a part. It's unfortunate that we Sierra Leoneans, we know they get conversation out of respect and feel say if somebody in idea different from young, that's not for me if we don't respect them. So just give dead eyes to them comments that they nearly don't. The second thing I want to say, the whole thing where I don't listen closely between lawyer Shilon and Mr. Kutubu over there. Again, I just learned one thing. Ever since I followed Mr. Kutubu in broadcast and program them on social media. Now, three things Mr. Kutubu is involved in Mr. Kutubu in strategy. I know, again, I hate to assume, but one thing at this point within Sierra Leone, any kind of form of hate or malice somebody gets against somebody in the past, especially when it gets to do with national concerns, nothing they will need for bury and put that is here and we are email. And if we really want to move Sierra current, that is immediate as today, Mr. Kutubo only can do a three strategy, and we'll find a way I call IDC strategy, that they ignore, divert, and confuse. It ignore the actual question about the situation on the floor, it try to divert the attention from that point, and confuse the whole situation by bringing unrelated issues there inside. And that's unfortunate from in part. I feel say it will be a mentor to really young one the way they come up. And the fact remains, there was no reason, no justification for killing, loss of 5 lives from Makeni in a situation of this kind. And again, on the side of the government, let me say this, the government are the authority of the country. The government no really obligation for explaining to any youth or even people who are non-governmental officials saying they go take machine and Makeni. I mean, but again, when you look at the interview from the minister himself, you see there's something we don't start from somewhere. Why all the thing and why the premeditation in certain things that in our country will go only lead to chaos? You don't consult the APC, the general or whosoever it is. We're not in our government. You don't get the authority for do that. That will tell you that an insight we need to get to not being get authority. There was something premeditated, not from the minister, by the way, but they expected something will happen. Why we not go away from them thing they are? And besides, Makeni not the only place where they stand by generator. We know that all the provincial headquarters towns are getting generator that they don't put them there. The youth there's no way we take them out of protest. There's no way. I agree with Kutubu that we need to educate them, then for protest with civility, with some reasoning. But again, outside now the evidence which shows the military people and even supposed for them in that case to start with. The second is within the evidence which shows the need for use excessive force and unreasonable force as Lawyer Shilon described them for really lead to the loss of 5 lives. Within the proof, burning of tires no amount to that. Causing up the police officers or the military personnel not amount to that. We get other functions then. Where is the arrest? Are these police officers not trained to arrest? They're not trained there for arrest and prosecute people where they cause public disorder. It's not the facts. We don't see a situation during the lockdown where a military commander is ordering people to lay somebody down, stretch and beat them with cane because the person says something where they are against in your opinion. We don't see all that thing and so it's all the kind way Mr. Kutubi and other people they live in country, you know, right? But we the young one, they were very prospective, they come up. We don't want to the citizens in our country anymore. Anything we take the president bill for intervene and stop them here, I think it worth it. Again, Mr. Salone add one thing. Firing of people because of incompetence from one position, either rehiring them or replacing them, reposition them, it's unnecessary. It doesn't make any sense. It's a sign of weakness in leadership. It's a sign of the fact that people they don't get that they're not available for.
Okay, next caller, please. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Hello, viewers. This is Omaro, the call from Switzerland.
Yes, Mr. Omar, go ahead, sir. What you get for it today?
Yeah. One thing first, I want to tell you, thank you, Madam Fadima. This time here today, at least, I don't make the program on can't very early. Hope they wanna go reconsider the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Then to the program, you see, whenever we get the opportunity for discuss these issues, sometimes we end up for bring and come to APC SAPP. Made a big deal. Certain discussions like this were very important to the life of Sierra Leoneans. Now we left for the drag to APC SAPP, and this is now for Mr. Kutubu. Now we look this with a national lens. You know, now we watch at the problem. We get a lot of problems the way it happen now, where certain time we will for don't discuss, I will get the opportunity then count APC SAPP talk. It's very unfortunate. Now, this means I will me look at the security what we get in a Salone. Which type of training then the people are they undergo? Because looking at them, most of the time when they get a situation, then they use live bullet. Then they go out. When they interview them, then they deny say no to them. They fire. Then they allege say the youth then gets a weapon. The AIG na Makeni talk and clearly say they go be say they get weapon, but they don't fire any live bullet. When everything in the media, everybody they see and then they fire the shot. And this, we don't see this, it don't happen again at the Tombo issue. So I don't think that we'll go for the discourse. Most of them think that it has nothing to do with SAPP or APC. You know? So we get to look them in there with a national lens. Let we forget about APC, SAPP. Let we left for the can with sensitive discussions, because whenever you call APC and SAPP into discussion, the discussion itself, they lost that merit where you forget as an important discussion. So Minami on side is clear with a big whenever in terms of such discussions. Now we left APC, SAPP out. Now we address the issue. The issue that the police and the soldier, they use excessive force. Why? Would they fire this shot? Then they count them bullets. Now Brookfield, before they give them for going into any operations. When they return, would they come with or shot in bullets? Would they fire young bullet? No, we don't know. Let the people and the answer to some of them things. Let justice they serve the people. Not that when the thing happen, the time when the people forget justice, we break another to SAPP, APC. At the end of the day, they talk just they die like that. So they are with a big. This is now a very important discussion. Now we forget about APC. Now we forget about SAPP. Now we address the issue. So, like the way it come. For an example, Mr. Kutubu, then US. You see when they say Black Lives Matter, you see thousands of people go on the street. How many people you see policeman or sojaman fire? Even the people in fire life, even the people in burn houses inside America, they would watch on the media. How many people in fire? Now we left for the look this with SAPP, APC lens. Now we address the issues with a national lens. Thank you very much. I'm on side of the contribution I get for the program.
Yes, Farima.
Yeah.
For let anybody na Salone. See, don't say, we are all get problem at Salone, let nobody. Yes, if I know not talk within the lenses of party, I really wonder. But I want let anybody can let me honestly say where it come, where issues come on, not to from partisan or regional level in the take from. Let anybody tell you that. That is sort of politics that within a Salone, where that's what they call green, white, and blue. Don't come out on the map. Waiting there, me party or usa come out. If you then you talk anything, say these are the infractions of principles of the part of President Bio, you go including the right of SAPP members. Because to them, President Bio is a demigod. You know they do no wrong. Equally so, if you sit on there, you put any fault straight that APC people in there, they will come after you. That are the politics out of the play. Okay, nobody is prepared for. Wait a minute, Salone. As far as your historical recollection of Salone, I don't know Salone from 1808. And guess what? Salone is going to be there after President Bio is gone, after and it's by Koma is gone. That contraption where they call Salone, you get for Didi. So therefore, one of the presidents of the United States, you know, say, he said, now not invest in leaders. Now we invest in institutions. And that it's a way. So that when these leaders are not phased away, institutions that you can imagine Salone, they go 60 years, 30 years by motor car, they transport water for cargo that somebody else. These are the things that we overview of fun. I mean, before we can the program, I tell you, say, speaking they sit on a classroom, the water don't almost swell at them. They say they to me. They sit on a classroom, water don't almost swell at them. We get a society where we don't want to accept, we don't get broken by both political parties. The fabric of the society now don't disintegrate. Nothing. Everything. Not to every day, you know, they talk about one woman in us. Broad daylight, somebody don't teach the woman in us. You don't turn out to you. Every day at the day, you know, they talk about the Chief Justice. Say the Chief Justice is involved in corruption. They go give somebody a job where you don't get the qualification for the job. You don't get them. Say they don't go grab somebody else. That like the society, the people that move against it. No, we need to accept the whole structure, the fabric of Salone, they're not broken. I not get broken. And Uda do na both parties. Now me when you talk about this, me come up with me arguments say, Lord begin appeal to the calculus of the youth stem. Let them understand, say they also get a stake inside here. No way, no way anybody go talk politics. When me know about Salone, the problem is the way you know go bring that two people there because then we need for begin come on at their place. They begin to come up with solutions. First we need for appeal to the youth stem. Say this one that they do so.
We have a problem. I think they don't begin the mental health too, because we have a generation we go through war. They grow up, people them grow up for so long, 11, 12 years. They witness, they watch, they grew up in that environment. A lot of Sierra Leoneans are messed up in the head. A lot of these guys have become young men, middle-aged men. They are disgruntled, they are hurting, they felt they've been left behind. How you for bring them come on now the question and they went at the $1 million question, how for rehabilitate them into society. And some of these young men, they don't get picking them. But if you don't have guidance, how will you guide your thing? We're gonna start from the homes, the mothers, the fathers, we therefore begin teach with picking them. This is where it starts. But we got a long way as a nation, we can do it together. But this partyism that we are in, and nobody wants to take responsibility for wrong, it is that person's fault, it is this person's fault. And this is where we are today, where 30 days we depend. People not go talk because you don't like what you had to talk, I go get in trouble. I go lock you up, I go intimidate you because you don't talk something when I for talk. I don't want to let influence the other people in there. So I lock you up for shut your mouth. And we have seen it. We have seen it. We have a constituents 110 that is there. There are people. How long now? I don't pass 1 year. They don't get representation. That is against the Constitution. Parliament is not saying it. Nobody is saying anything. The judiciary is not coming. Nobody is saying anything. These are the things that the system, like you say, it is broken. And one stitch at a time, one conversation at a time, we can build it. But how do we do it when the other person, for us to heal and move forward, everybody accepts inside of the blame? But nobody wants to do that. Everybody thinks they're superior. When that they can, we don't tell this. Now we go show and still get power. Then they back come, we can't turn and give. So we're going in the same circle. 360, we're just going in a merry-go-round. Do. Recycle politicians. Some of these people don't even have business. They have young, educated, promising young men and women of Sierra Leone that can do the job. These old politicians that they have recycled, then they put them in a position, they don't thief money, they don't waste time, they don't come back. You get people there where they put in a government where not belong there, forget their young picking and chance, let them go do the same work. What are they giving all these people work for? What do they need work? What the young one, then they're not able to make their life, they don't get no hope. There's no hope to come out of the despair. That's why they're dying in the Mediterranean Sea. That's why beginning they left for God be made whether they suffer them in other people's country. That's why some of you are lucky because we don't come by rebel war. But some of you are lucky that other people, other countries open their doors to them because they have been there at the same predicament. There's no hope for those people down there. So let we be careful how they condemn them. Let we be careful how they let we try for help them for let them able to come on at the team. Because there's no hope. There's no hope. It's hopeless. You might do, you might go, you might wait in a call, but there's no hope. Everybody is running away from it. People that are coming to help build, they will frustrate you and you will touch you, load back and come back. You know, so it is a cycle. It's a vicious cycle going around. The same thing, no change. Nobody is seeing the way forward. You know, and we're going to stop there.
In 2018, we get the opportunity for make a difference in the lives of people there. The elections become, we get an opportunity today. Waiting the citizens they do, they mortgage them. They care the same people there. So most of that year, we also therefore accept the climate of blame. Say now we had a choice. Regardless of what we have, we will try a third, first, and see. Because from the dawn of history, now the same two people that we get, Peter and Paul, Al-Hussein and Al-Hussein, Abu and Hawa, that we get. We had a third force, we refused. It's going to come 2023, they come back. We are going to get a third force. We again choose them. You can yesterday we met a past today. You know, then are we again they sit down, they cry. So until we actually step up to the say, you know what? This now we all continue, we get for take We say your future in your hand. We get for take up in your hand. Now this is what you do. Now make the audience say elections have consequences. They do anyhow you can get consequences. When you go elect at a color, now that back for that's good. 2023 they come again. You only pay election they can't take place there. The Democrats and they are a column. They get a choice. If we are going again, when we talk Mr. Trump, you have nobody to blame. You have nobody to blame. So as we did, they talk about, let we also hold ourselves accountable because we get the opportunity for make the difference through the validity of the sensitivity of the ballot box. That paper they go eat the box. Now they might pass the Hiroshima bomb with them or the Nagasaki bomb. Because that night they determine whether that man go sit on at that chair or no go sit on it. But out of sentiment, oh Nami Komane, Nami this, Nami walk come on our place. You are in color. These are the things that you they elect people they don't even go to the constituencies.
Okay,
let me election they come.
Let me take the caller. Then
go ahead and take the call, ma'am.
Let me take the caller. Then Mr. Sheila will bring you in after the caller. Then so I will not let you out. But this conversation has to be. Say the caller. Good evening. What's your name and what you are?
Yeah, I'm Lawrence from. I call from England.
Yes, go ahead, please. What's your name, sir?
One of me take this. Could you not sincere, man? I put a direct to answer not sincere because this is a government issue. You're not going to deal with political party. You're not going to stop this blame game for APC and SLPP. No. It is the responsibility of the government to provide for the people in Lunge International Airport the machine. Then before they go take that money, go buy 32 Jeep. They will look at the priorities, guys. Say Lunge need electricity. The people of Makeni, that the machine that day, a standby generator will get 24 hours electricity. You don't go take the use you go cure a person. They became a monsoon in England. One go give them the television a woman, no go take her so like a dance. They go get consultation until they agree. That's the right. That's the government's responsibility. You're going to can't assist you talk to Yansane. That's wrong. You don't need to talk to Yansane. Yansane, it's not a political affair. It's a government affair. So and then when you talk to Yansane, talk to the mayor will get back to Ramo. Like he said, the proper consultation was not done. So I put them to Yansane. I can't assist you for them. Okay, people now Makeni. If manager is responsible, manager for fire can't assist you. He should be sacked. The ID should be sacked. The inspector general police should be sacked. Then they take people and like them, then they put up our politics. Go to the tell story. This is a story, not a story. This is a modern democratic state. And the people are getting right for protest. That's how they write that. Whether they do this appropriately or any kind of curious speaker, the people have the right to protest. Because I will go take the machine, you don't get proper consultation. And the text, can't assist the text, you don't get proper consultation. I spoke to the mayor. Done. Yeah, and after I spoke to the mayor, he go talk to Yansane. Who don't know Yansane? Yansane don't have no link. APC not going on link on this. Now when they never talk to the youth. They never talk to youth. Say, hey, they never take your machine. Nobody never talk to youth to that. They'll be frustrated. Say this is because a standby generator. Is that a standby generator in terms of regularities or irregularities? Like body. So the government take advantage. They kill the people. They kill the people. Power by force. So they go take by force to kill them back. It's an irresponsible government. Because if man being responsible, and they put that to us say, you're not responsible, you should have sacked Kantasise. Kantasise will be sacked. But that, because when you talk about development, not development, you get for involved. You don't get for involved. It's true, the order for be involved. For those who can't take on a machine. You know, the government thing, when the community get that kind of machine, they don't give for the person can't take a day. It's the machine when meant for the development process. Kutubu, you're not sincere, man. No company called APC SLPP. It's not only APC SLPP. Blame the government of Salone. And the government of Salone is SLPP. The government of Salone could be some of APC members. But the government of Salone, what would be the greatest responsibility is kind of a way, ignore the procedures away for Fala. What's he going to do? He said policeman for go take a pauper. He said soldier man for go take a pauper. Everybody wants a for killer. So they kill the people. They committed murder. And murder they do some murder. Yes, Salone. When I left for the level get and twisted. We can move forward, and they can't say we can move forward. It's to you to the right. No one can tell you the right to. No, you don't give and take the text to the stone. So they will take bullets for fire. If you don't be picking the chair, you don't have a chair. the table close. They will go this way. I will beat that one kill but chicken table. What you talking about? Yes, Salone. I know that this will do attack. Kutubu, you are shame to say I don't report to you. You are shame.
Okay, thank you. Kutuba, you want to respond? I want to give you time for Professor.
Well, that's what let me like democracy. Just like we President Thomas Jefferson say, he say he go prefer for live in a country we not get government, but that place where people they get right for talk. Now for live in a place where government. As far as we concerned, the views the way we list that that's fine. If fall within the remit of the constitutional rights, that's fine. But the fact remains, the alpha and omega of the argument here is this. Elections have consequences. In 2018, Salonians were presented with a choice. Then decide say, oh, no. Now the people have the vote. We will have from dusk to dawn, from January to December, until we decide as citizens, say, you know what, we've had enough of this. We've had enough of this. Me, you know, who can buy one bag rice, give me, one bag rice, give me. You know, go just give me how they call it for today. No, you're the way they say, not give me the fish today, show me how for fish. Until we decide, say we country, we get for take up. And you already take up, like I say, this paper has so, this paper with so. It might pass that Hiroshima bomb, this, or the Nagasaki bomb, this. Where you go here inside that box, now they decide who that will be your next leader. If anybody not believe, watch November Naya. When the citizens they go to ballot box. We go see if Mr. Trump goes sit on that chair or Mr. Biden goes sit on that chair. Now, to all the time, if they say, okay, for 4 years, Mr. Trump don't do bad, fine. The day of judgment, they come in the record. Until we start to begin all day with people that are in. So this question say, Kutubu, this could, of course, that the man, I can understand frustration they sitting. Because another tale of me views there for me, the idiosyncrasies of people there, that I can understand. That's part of it. And to be honest, I welcome that kind of criticism. But the fact remains, now we're responsible for our own destiny. Until we begin holding people them accountable, or to begin to say, well, you're not fit for the parliament, me not go vote for you. Or to begin vote for people then, not to because they belong to tribes, because they represent what green, white, and blue stand for. We'll go before. But as long as, look at this, SLPP in our Southeast Party, APC in Northern, how we going to create a society we will get for discriminating? Why a Southeastern are not going to get elected for the elite APC? Why that not happen? Why will not go get a Southeastern, or why will not go get a Northerner leading SLPP? Why will not go get that? So don't get this tag. Once you come on as Southeast, you belong to SLPP. Once you come on as North, now APC you come on. We'll get for you. So you back, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your response. Next caller, please. Mr. Sheila, you want to add something before we go to the caller? Let me give you a chance. You don't silent for a while.
Oh, no problem. Basically, I just want the gentleman we called from, I think Australia, he talked about
Sweden.
Sweden, yeah. So I just want, because in fairness to Mr. Kutubu, and I'm sure he's very capable for defending himself and no need for defend them, but the reference to APC and SLPP came about, as I recall, on this program, where Mr. Kanjas say the minister talk about him where he don't consult the mayor of Makeni and the chairman or the head of APC. I think that's when the APC SLPP thing come into play. So of course, some of us take the position, which some of the callers have even taken, that Mr. Kanjas is saying no business for consult with Mr. Yansene about activities in Makeni, because Mr. Yansene in position, not a governmental position. So he ought not to have been consulted for anything. So that's playing unnecessary politics. So if I recall, that's how the APC SLPP stock come into the whole thing. With respect to I think somebody said the police, the army, they can shoot bullets, then and claim to the union. Well, there is science for that. If the army is going to just shoot, besides the accountability aspect of it, they are ballistic experts. So if bullets are shot and there is denial or deniability, that's very simple to resolve. All the government have to do, have a ballistic expert for come and say, the bullet will kill this person. Where did it likely come from? From an ordinary citizen in gun or from the army? So those things we can take care of. Again, we just have to be mindful of, it's a sad situation because we need to provide much to the people then. And again, even when the professors say election has consequences, it's true. But in a society like Sierra Leone, where the people are not as informed politically as they should be, it's kind of difficult for just hold them to that high level of responsibility, unlike the United States. You see, and my position has always been that the government get so many advantage over the ordinary people. So back home now in Sierra Leone, people in the go, we'll get for realize for say, the laws then vary. So now back home, people don't just to go no more. They buy you a bag of rice, then give you small money, then they preach tribalism, and people say, oh, we all won. So I think it's the people that, if you're not Limba or you're not Minde, and when I come up from the same chiefdom of the same tribe, I will hope that I will get opposing views. So when you tell the people and say, you get a better idea, I will hope the people then go hold the other person your views for see if he can get better ideas than this person. Because we get for start challenging, we say, we're going to parliament for representative people. But unless we begin for do that, and if we're not begin for, I may see representation just like a jury trial. You get for make citizens they understand their civic responsibility. So a lot of people don't realize, so what would they say election get consequences? Yes, indeed. But a lot of these people don't have any idea the kind of consequences we're talking about, you know? Then they vote on tribal line, regional line. So we would have learned small book. Now we for educate people, because I can tell a lot of people, a lot of Sierra Leoneans who are diehard political party supporters them, I can ask them, say, well, I go like for meet somebody where the morning time, they give SFPP or APC or 4C or whatever the political party name, C4C. I like for somebody for show me anybody where they eat C4C or SFPP or APC for breakfast. Or where they give them picking them, where you say, $10 for pay school fee, just go to the school and tell them, say, well, me the APC and school fee is paid. So people are just being misused. At the end of the day, people need jobs. They need a livelihood. And we just need to keep emphasizing that anything beyond that, people are being misused. It don't matter if you're APC or to SFPP. At the end of the day, you get for put food on your table, you get for take care of your picking them. And economics, not to so it work. So that let me just get for just say, we for all the politicians and food to the fire, and we for explain to people and when election tend to come, let we begin for educate them. Why wouldn't again a parliament? We'll forget all the facts, go to the constituency, and I mean, and they inject violence. But when you begin to tell the people and the truth, they don't let the people and read that. But if otherwise, and then youth there say people that can talk to them, say, listen, I mean, Yusuf can be minister, Yusuf can get PhD, Yusuf can be member of parliament, but until you begin for understand that, for say, if you don't reach that level there, you begin to reach that level there, but you're not going to reach that level there if you allow them selfish politicians here for misuse you, for let you go commit crime, for make them put you in a prison. Then when they get ready, then fake a prison riot and come and kill you now, you know? So we owe explanation to the general public for let them know how they misuse them. The people are not stupid. If somebody take the time and explain to them, they go understand. That's
Yes,
all.
thank you. Now go to the caller them. They say we get a whole bunch of callers on the line. Let me get a chance to now the voice of Sierra Leone. Go ahead, call out with your name. Who should they call from, please? Hello, caller. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Who should they call from? Hello, caller.
In the absence of that, you want to add something to Mr.
Okay, go ahead. Tell the caller then come
okay,
on.
when the caller come, I will stop.
Yeah.
Hello? Mr. Shilon.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Good evening. Yes, sir. What's
good evening. Good evening, Ms. Sadima. How are you today?
We there by God power, sir. How are you too, sir? And who's calling us? Can you announce yourself?
Thank you very much, Mina Ezekiel. I don't follow on our programs. This is very interesting. Mr. Shilon, I agree when you state something like the minister actually not even get a reason for reach out to the stakeholders and then before don't go straight for make them go collect the machine. This is true, like like what you they say. But then we also even look at and when you do all of that, at least to establish some community engagement, let me see waiting at the outcome we follow that. Let alone if the minister before don't just get up and say, well, now let me go move the machine. You know, the situation at Salone don't become so complex. And even when the minister in his wisdom decide to reach out to the other political party, this is not making it political. It's just to establish some kind of rapport. So you people that really want to say their political party that for continue for the rivals forever. This is to say, well, I mean, we're not in a fight. We're not in anything. We are all part of Sierra Leone. And honestly enough, this is about national resources. That was just a poor allocation of national resources as a result of greed. Where we have other parts of the country where they're in dire need of electricity. The minister said Makeni gets uninterrupted electricity in the dry season and in the rainy season from Bumbuna. And not forget, Bumbuna it has much of national resources have been poured into Bumbuna. So if Makeni is enjoying that, what is really the reason and the need for letting them get 2 standby generators? Why other parts of the country they start for even get 1 day electricity in a week? So this is absolutely unacceptable. And going forward, Australia will move from them bad mistakes what we don't see in the past regime. This is not about regionalism. It's about nationalism. It's about thinking patriotic, thinking Sierra Leone. This is a national resource. So to me, I even suggest that the Ministry of Energy look back at their statistics and identify somewhere where there's dire need of electricity and also move the second generator to that location. That means we have to make things right and call things by their right name. This is unacceptable. That generator was not bought by Makeni. It is the national resource. Why should it be processed somewhere where they're not even in need of it? So to me, I'm saying, I crave on the indulgence of the ministry, but make them go take that second generator and identify somewhere that is in dire need and supply them with electricity. If all these things don't get, now we go begin to talk about reserve. But other side they not get, people they're hungry, then you can now keep this food for tomorrow. That is totally unacceptable. It's greed to the highest degree. And we are saying Sierra Leone will move forward. We are looking at this recent past and try to make corrections. And some of these corrections now go down with definitely with a lot of people, but we have to stand firm to it. We have to make sure that we call things by their right name. So, Mr. Shilon, just see, even when the minister established some government-community relationship engagement, the outcome still not be sweet. Let alone that not before one. We for don't cry against them, but why they not be engaged? So that's my point. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But just to know that the Ministry of Energy, I think that they're on a tour right now. Then they allocate money for projects and for improve the light system. Just for give that update, just for say. Mr. Sheila, I will come back to you, sir. Maybe you want to respond, but Lord, take some more callers.
Yeah.
Good evening, caller. What's your name? Yes, caller. Good evening. Name and calling from where? Good day, caller. Who side they call me from?
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Because the team for beyond the 5, then they stop 10, and they 15. But you see, they are
Caller, you're on live TV. Your conversation, personal conversation is on. You're on live TV. What you like name? Who side they call me from, please? Okay, this caller, not pay attention. Caller, you on live? Go ahead, next.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. You're on live TV.
Hello?
You are on live. Turn your TV down. Turn your background noise down. There you go. Yeah, give me.
Hello? Hello?
Go ahead, please. You're on live TV.
Hello?
Yes, turn your volume down behind you. Sideway they watch me, please. There you go. Yeah, give me.
Hello?
We they get feedback. Caller, you on live? Go ahead, yes.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. You're on live TV.
Hello?
You are on the live. Turn your TV down. Turn your background noise down. There you go, yeah, give me.
Hello? Hello?
How about this person, please? We'll go to the next caller.
Oh, take another call.
Yeah, all the opportunity, enable on catch up with. So let's
continue the discussion.
Sorry, caller. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Who should I call from, please?
Yes, good evening, Fadima. Me and Zainab, I call from the UK.
Hello, Ms. Zainab. Go ahead, my sister. What you get for ad?
Yes, so first of all, I just want to thank you. Thank you, Ms. Fadima. You did do a great job. Thank you so much. I just want to let you just give their fears to all the distractors them. Now, so then they. This will not go ever stop forget them. The distractors them between the APC and the SLPP people and that they no more na they sabi for do na they capable of doing. Now so then they do all the time. So I just want to let you keep doing what you they do because you they do an excellent job. And thank you, Mr. Shilon, as well. Thank you so much for we wanna come on today and the timing is so perfect for we from the other side, so we able to watch you now live and participate. So getting on the situation, I think say this thing not to APC SLPP, just like other callers, they don't highlight this thing now. We people them, the citizens, then the government killing its citizens. Not alone. Now we they see it happen repeatedly over and over. Even with the Pademba Road prison rioting, now so then go back and kill citizens. And then at the same time back then do so, then just they take up arms. Why you they call on the military and the external force for fight external battles? You know they call them on your citizens there they go shoot them and kill them. Even the police, you know they send armed police. We all the scenario people in the riots where Donald Trump open talk say when the looting starts, the shooting starts, everybody shouts, everybody all over the world shouts at them. Even though the kind of looting and thing where destruction of property will happen in America, we're not seeing kind. It happened there because of the people they feel aggrieved, they feel angry, then go out, then demonstrate, then destroy people and property there. But when the president used that particular phrase, the whole world shouts at them for using them. So why make Salone for be differently? Why make things them for the happen this kind way in Salone? Why make we say we they practice democracy? We they do this kind thing over and over to we people them? Why this minister think say for call APC? Why not call the other political parties them? Makeni na only APC people in they all them questions there they need for the ask. Now only APC people and then Makeni, okay, maybe I agree saying that in stronghold, but it's not just APC people, it's Sierra Leoneans living in Makeni. So why not call all the other political parties? Why not engage them? Maybe the people already kill. If you then check, not to APC people, if you not CPOC people, if you not NGC people, the people are not being informed and say that they can't take the generator. Okay, maybe they don't need for inform them. So if the people then go, then begin they stone them, begin they cause noise, say they're not for take this thing. Why the police not regroup and then the government get on national TV or maybe calm the youth then down, tell them say if we not stop this, if we catch anybody, go and stone we people already go take this generator. We go all on and the law go deal with them according to the prescribed punishments. Why all them things they not do them? Why the money where they take buy all the SUVs them, all them bike them? Why they not use that money they for go buy generators them, for go fix the generators them? them Nalunge. Why all these questions there are lots of so many questions them for answer. When we government need for answer, they're not just they kill with citizens senselessly. Then at the end of the day, they can tell we then support us then they come and they talk all kinds of things, they make noise from people. It is very bad. Thank you so much, Ms. Fadima, for giving me the opportunity because I don't get bell doggy. Thank you so much. Yeah.
This is why I say we need a woman president. We need a woman for rule Salone now because I know they pick on them man them, but women we get more multitasking head. Anyway, next caller, please. Good evening, caller. What's your name and who's side you coming from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name? Who's side you call from, please?
Hi. Good afternoon, Ms. Fadima.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you, ma'am? My name is Bonnie Johnson. I'm calling from the United States of America.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, go ahead, sir. What you get for me?
My question is for Mr. the gentleman with the hat.
Mr.
He said that we should not compare Sierra Leone politics and American politics. The majority of politicians, the majority of people who vote in America, it's not the majority don't decide the presidency.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. We're listening, Mr. Johnson.
Yes. The Electoral Commission, they are the one who, the Electoral College, they are the one who decide to become they decide to pick the president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's the point? Yourself. I think you yourself. You get on.
No. My point is, he said to go to the poll for the election.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go there, still you cast your vote the majority. That's over there. The majority. I don't like when people compare America and Sierra Leone. Those are two different. Those are two different countries. And also, my question is, for the generator in Makeni, is that the one that provides them light? That's the one they take from Makeni?
No, it's a standby generator. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think that's bad if they take the standby generator, but I don't think that's bad. Let them give it to somebody who doesn't have a light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also for the military is supposed to be. I think now the military, they're all politics now. The military is all politics right now because the military is supposed to be external force. You can't put the military against your own people. So that's all I have to say. You can't be doing that. That's not good. That's not good.
Mr. Johnson, we appreciate you, Voice of Sierra Leone. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Who's the call from? Yes, caller, go ahead, please. Good evening. What's your name? Who's the call from?
Good evening. My name is Ronald Lacko. I call from the UK.
Yes, Mr. Ronald, go ahead, sir. And what do you have?
Yeah, I'll get a few observations them way I just want to make. Firstly, I want to say I already passed judgment on anybody in Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
But the recent development in Sierra Leone is shocking and appalling.
Mm-hmm.
We all for condemn the approach where government use for destroy lives them now, Makeni. And not to just Makeni. Any life we then destroy, it's totally unacceptable. I believe the government and the police then get a responsibility for protect lives in Sierra Leone. Even if the public, they use them, they riot, they act inappropriately, we expect we police them for able to de-escalate the situation, for manage the situation very well. Now, sensitive in a way the government, the decision, first of all, I think say now misplaced decision. Because how governments go decide for go take a used generator for bring them a place where an international airport where really require sustainable electricity supply. The generator will then go take, what is the lifespan for that? In addition to that, Lungi International Airport, they collect tax system. People and they pay for visas. I expect the Lungi International management for able to raise some money, we then say for the able to afford a more ideal generator for run the airport. The resources in Sierra Leone, a national resource system, we all for understand, see, not to one region owner. I agree with one caller where say, morally, if one section of Sierra Leone sufficient, then they enjoy a particular resource, and the other parts of the country, the struggle, if we even get the desire, the moral duty, say, oh, we come in there, we brothers and sisters, them at this part of the country, not get what we they enjoy. Let we help them because we just sufficient. That is a standby generator. If Makeni they enjoy more supply, electricity supply in other parts of the country, no, they get. Let we see not to Lungi safe. I expect the leaders then Makeni go say, okay, we get supply now. Other parts in the struggle, let we extend. Let we agree, let this year go. But for let them mismanage the whole situation, lives then go destroy lives them. I think see that na poor leadership. We get a serious leadership problem in Sierra Leone. I not agree, I not subscribe to people the way they say na Makeni people they own the generator. No, that is totally wrong. The generator is owned by the Sierra Leonean people, and government now they are the steward and for manage the resources, and they empower for manage the resources in Sierra Leone. Now they determine how to allocate them. Now that make they elect them. So then they do that in the national interest. So who say then see there is more need, then they allocate the resources based on need.
Yeah. Okay, next caller, please. We don't reach the 2-hour mark, and we're not going to take all the calls that went in at the queue. We'll take 3 or 4 more calls, and then we're done for today. So let me just go with callers, please. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Sorry to call from.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to tell you thank you first for, the job when they do. Me name Mohammed Toure. Me, I'm a member based in the UK. I'm a lawyer as well, practicing lawyer here in the UK. Basically, I just want to tell you thank you for the, VOS, all which they do, so they do a very good job because, in all fairness, now no more we get in a Salone. We seek the people that interest. Straight to the point, actually. In relation to what happened at Makeni, we all really feel bad about that. First thing first, I don't like we people in the corner riot or rioters. We believe see the what happened, the people them that peaceful protesters them. We go for exercising rights as citizens, and they were shot at. That's what happened. That is really, really bad for a country like Sierra Leone. We all know we just did try for, come off from a war. Because 10, 15 years ago, I think we get one, and that's not too long. So exactly what happened, and I think it's really bad. And I personally think what happened in a deliberate act in view of waiting the minister waiting had enough been say in previous occasion where say we saw the videos going around on Facebook and everywhere. We go talk, see if anything happened, they don't give instructions for making shoot. So clearly that instruction and they execute. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, we feel we abhor that, we oppose that, and I think we see things in for change in that country, and they maybe a contribution I think I make. Matter be need for losing at the people then put on the, not just commander, it can be president. We all know how it been in London here. We grand the Makeni people that believe she then play a lot of role for make even be president. Enough for just be president today jump and start killing people. I think it's wrong. And we are sure saying that they go free for them actually the way they do. We consider them with the notes and down we seek for that advice and see what we're able to do as well as Sierra Leone because we did way wrong. You know, me just tell not thank you again VOS for which one I do because I don't know
Thank you.
That's Salone right now. We rely on otherwise all the other people them.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
So that's what I want to say.
Yes, sir. We will take 2 more calls or 3 more calls, and then that's it for today. The call lines will be closed after the next 3 callers. I know say we all get opinion and we all get for one for put with voice, but all man not go able to talk today. So let's go to the last 3.
Hello?
Good evening. Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please, caller.
Yeah, me and Mohammed I call from Maryland. I just want to contribute to this sensitive program today because the issue na Makeni na a failure of leadership and immaturity na they cause that. Because this government we don't see an example who side they go take machine na kono, they deprive kono people because somebody they talk na the say this na national resources for share equally. Then deprive kono, then take the machine and go put na bow or kenima. When then deprive of one what's not the reason? You don't get any tangible reason for deprive kono where they don't get electricity at all. Then take the machine, then go tam na bow or kenima. Then go give them the electricity, then and then kono deprive. This is a mechanic issue. If the machine, 2 machines don't break down, now Lunge, we all know what happened na Lunge, na negligence and wickedness and this tribalistic government where they try to segregate people where they believe say no they support it or no belong to the religion. Then deprive Lunge because Lunge not to part of the south or the east. The engineer then can fix the machine, they ask for let them give them fear, let them test the machine, then do and deliberately them deprive them because the machine will be employed not for the airport get an engine, then get a machine. But because of Lunge not to the strong, then deprive them, they don't do and deliberately say the machine spoil. Now they go other side for go take machine. Not when get their own machine, let them distribute the resources equally like how the previous government will do. All the regional headquarters, they all get their own machine. All man gets. When they can't tell we say na this or that. The previous government do equal distribution of electricity. It makes sure say all the regions there, all the regional headquarters, they all get sustainable electricity. So they can give you excuse. And look how the police and the security they react. People in common when they go on that clandestine way to go take people their machine and net. What if they say they not go react? The people then react. No, destroy something. No, they just come on for show them dissatisfaction. And as citizens, the right for demonstrate and for the right to let them demand to the government what they deem say no right. So now the right for demonstrate, but that no permit the government or the government military regime for let them go open life fire for kill people. That's really wrong. That's really sad. What's going to happen in Salone, ever happen. Even in air taxi days, some sanity be there. They just go no more out random so they go kill people. It's really sad. But so we get people where they condone this regime for all the bad things how they do, the kind bad thing how they perpetrate against their citizens. The people don't feel like they belong. They're not able to express their view. They're not able to talk what's in the morning. They don't subdue the one country. Don't deprive Kono for boy and Kenima. Kono no get electricity right now. What do you say about that? This is really sad. I mean, what contribution is no more?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Voice of Sierra Leone, everybody in Voice Matter, everybody the sound off respectfully, we sound off with opinion and what we think. So go ahead, caller. What you know your name, who say the call from?
Hello, Madam Farima. Abdullah Sise again from New Jersey.
Yes, Mr. Sise Abdullah. Go ahead, sir. What you get from?
Yeah, I want to start with one caller we call, I don't remember again outside, but it tries to justify the fact, say, the oil victory happened so far happened because Makeni didn't get extra generator. While other parts of the country really starve. Yes, I really accept of the opinion that no one side of this country not forget excess benefits where other parts of the country they starve off. Any reasonable person in the right mind would think say that they're unfair and it's very unacceptable. And again, we all know not to think we for overemphasize on our government property. I mean, Sierra Leonean people and property, not to Makeni people and property. All than they are fact. All of them say, oh, it would go on just a way of distracting from the point that the government acted irresponsibly for make we lost 5 lives, 5 or more lives. Everything, again, as I say earlier, will happen now. Makeni not be necessary and not warrant the loss of any life. Not to talk of people trying to defend in the action of whether the police, the military, or the government in this kind of situation. And people that really support blindly, really accept, and I mean, then because of party or whatever reason, then they try to justify wrongdoings. I want that we just remember, at some point in the past, in the very recent past, this government will be in our power. And one thing we know, no matter how the government take our power, it's not going to do it forever. So are we saying, especially with young ones where they argue blindly, are we saying whatever the sitting government is doing that is wrong, people are wrong for cry about it, people are wrong for say them, we're not for talk them, instead when I would draw past incidents, the past not the past. Some people even mention, like Professor Kutubu mentioned earlier in comparison with what happened at Jala in the APC, they're saying they don't happen. I make the Salone people in talk and speak with one voice in 2018. They say, let me remove this government because they hope for a change. So why make those comparisons? They're not necessary. They're really not necessary. Let me know, say, this question of saying, oh, then two party and a mistake people then do for bring this one back in 2018, even if not the third party within NGC, then people then bring car. Now, what if you say for me, serve not then government and they? Even before that, we all know saying that the same APCSL people who don't serve, they don't come on power. Another me constitute now the new, the third party, the so-called third party with the call. So there was not going to be any change. The fact remains, one way I believe so we need to institute this change. As things that they happen right there, we point out the wrongdoings. We state them clearly. We don't get no time for wait again. We don't get no time for wait as it has been in the past. When things happen, when somebody come on power, and I know they talk about that. Now, in this 21st century, when something happens, let me not go against people that really raise concern about wrongdoings. Now, the only way we will hold the politicians and leaders they are accountable, as far as my opinion is concerned. And the one final point I want to say, there is no reason again, okay, that's too long, but there is no reason again we could justify the killing of anybody in this incident will happen. There was no point having the military there. There was no reason just for bomb tire. Considering whatever burning of tire or stoning at the police happened at Makeni, which half of what happened at US. Buildings were bombed, properties, businesses were bombed, police were stoned at, they were injured, but no life got lost, no civilian was shot at. So let we consider all the things and the. Finally, the election way Mr. Kutubu compare with, this is a deliberate way of avoiding the fact. We know say there is no way to compare the electoral system in the US and that of Sierra Leone. You see Sierra Leone and get the right for cast and ballot for institute a change. No, I'm telling you, come 2023, if the current government don't want to go out, Sierra Leone will get that right, the Sierra Leone and they don't get the right, they will be even scared of going out to cast their ballot because this seems to.
Thank you. Our last call for tonight, we get one more caller, I think, yeah? Would they take one more caller? Now the last one, this or the last one more? One more caller, last caller. Then we have enough calls for today. We have to go. Good evening, caller. Last caller for today. What do you get for what's your name? Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Sorry to call me from, please.
Hello, Madam Fadima. How you do? Nina Jibril, they call from Virginia.
Hello, Mr. Jibril. How are you? Go ahead, please.
I'm fine. Yes, Madam Fadima, this is a very sensitive issue. The incident at Makeni is unfortunate. We as Sierra Leoneans, the first thing we need to ask, make we love ourselves. Let we get love for ourselves in Sierra Leone. Without love in that country, there. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. Your answer.
Right. Without love in that country, there, Salone no go better.
And all waiting we don't look at into waiting they go on at this country, it seems as if, we they take party, we put them before development of that country. If waiting go on in that country, this is a very, very simple thing where we need the government for don't work handle with maturity. And it's really, the way I look at the entire show, this government get a motive behind all what happen. It seems like they go na Makeni for go cause atrocities, not for the generator. Because now for the generator, it's very easy. And now they talk about generator, why they know, people they talk about, now we hold this, now we hold this. We they talk about the government. This is not government. It's about daddy. If daddy, then a house, he get picking them. They don't buy trusses, he get to Alpha. Then, he not buy for Joseph. If daddy come out, he take Alpha and trusses, he give Joseph. Not to palaver, daddy ready for create. That palaver, daddy want for do. Daddy for people buy for Joseph, he buy for Alpha. And Usai, if he say Alpha get more, if we're able to talk to Joseph, for let them come to a compromise and get to Alpha. But in this case, the way the whole thing go out, is basically the Makeni people them protest, that no give them cause for let them can kill them, like the way they do that thing. This is undone. And when they talk, this government they talk about, say, what is really this now a whole government? Then people here get mind pull money, go buy 30 brown new motorcade. Then be fail for realize say they get problem. They don't ever know say they get issues with broken generators, waiting for fix. They don't get that. Then people here pull money for buy a boat, a brand new boat for this president. They don't know say they get generators for fix. Why they not put the country first? Don't at the end of the day, they come out and support them people here, but then kind, they think unfortunate actually. This government really let we pray to God. And with people then they suffer. They don't suffer. Now waiting they don't hand up to now for kill them. Because they don't all kind of tranganes don't reach with people then. They hand part now for begin kill them. And look at that move where they take a whole boat. Let's say a whole gunship for can guide a whole generator. Then people are not ashamed for let the people there in other countries and say, Sierra Leone, really? Then go kill people them over 10 people them for a generator? Now that country there? But this is shameful. It's shameful. So not to think this way, every Sierra Leone for even they go and take they put things say why this, why that. This now life, now we talk about. One great life is what past 10 generators now that country. Arrest my case.
Thank you so much, my brother. Well, we don't come to the end of the show today. We don't hear all man don't get inside. We don't hear most people are standing up to say every life important. People not for die. What went wrong? That is the question. We don't ask what went wrong, how they managed to reach to that side. So that give me guest and me co-host time for talk, then me go end. And then thank you all so much. We appreciate you now for being here. Mr. Shillon, sir, give you final closing. If you get any question with them to ask earlier, you can add them.
Yeah, just a few things. I appreciate the level of listening and understanding with the listeners then demonstrate, because I think we all they sing the same chorus. What is important here, in my view, everybody will they say something sensible. Of course, there are times when some of the facts as stated by the callers now support the fact as we understand the facts to be. Number one, I was not criticizing the minister, Mr. Kanja Sise, for calling. I think I qualified that for say as a matter of courtesy. I think that was the right thing. It was just being courteous by calling and saying we can remove the generator. My thing was as a matter of policy, it need not to have contacted the APC leader, because it's not getting nothing to do with political party politics. This had to do with the smooth operation or running of a government. So I think that was a mistake. I would hope in the future that is not a consideration. Leave the political parties out of this. And for we always get concerned about this government, I always make my position clear. I'm not supporting any government. I'm Australian, I'm supporting good government. And so we need for all the one that would have left America, Australia, Germany, England, no matter whose part we did, we for be concerned. If me, Mr. Shillon, decides say I want to go Salone, I want to enter politics, or I want to render any service, I will hope that I will be taking some values, will go add to the interest, the well-being, the progress of the country. Otherwise, it's a waste of the country's time. Sierra Leone get enough people without we really come out abroad for good, to add to the misery. So that's the reason why I was a little bit critical of a minister with an MIT degree, one of the most renowned universities in the world, and you go home, instead of encourage and try to give the president good advice and come up with good policy, you are engaged in land grabbing. That's lawlessness. If you get the minister, Mr. Sandi, I have also seen video where he say, where he state all the wonderful things the way to do. And the video was very impressive. I think people know little about that. But what I do not understand, why they not get periodic news conferences? You, the Mr. Sandi, you can get the newspaper and then go come, you will tell them what you don't meet, how you meet things, because you talk about how you meet things, what you don't do. But regardless of that, regardless of how much Mr. Sandi don't do, you cannot engage in vigilante government activity. You, minister, cannot encourage for go break down structures. That's lawlessness. So we really need for all our politicians them in good, them fit to the fire. Now, I don't particularly criticize this government per se, because we're not going to have a perfect government. But I do criticize the president in the sense that, or I'm a little critical of the president, in the sense that he doesn't seem to be doing much background check on these people he appoints to then top level positions here. It's clear by what you would not begin seeing at the country that there is a misplacement of what you would call qualification, because there is this presumption that if you get a PhD, you can be you can fly a rocket or something to the moon and back and all this kind of thing because you get a PhD. But it doesn't work like that. Anybody will get any sense about university education. I mean, as much as I respect a PhD qualification, and make no mistake, it's a highly achieved academic achievement, but having a PhD does not qualify you necessarily to be Attorney General, to be Chief Justice, to be Minister of this or Minister of that. There are people with lesser qualification who may be more competent by way of experience and exposure and all of that. So appointments must fit the overall qualification of the person, which is not necessarily academic qualification. And we always go to school, no say, paper qualification is one thing. It's just a component to your overall education. You know, I always cite an instance in which, when I was in law school, we had a professor who was from Uganda. I have to use that as an example. Credentially, he was the most qualified guy on the faculty from Uganda. So we're all proud. We got this African brother who didn't get the top 8, this and that. He was the least effective, the most incompetent professor I've ever seen. He was that bad with all the academic degrees. So we need to drift away from this just paper qualification alone. And then when, for whatever reason, if the president does fire somebody, I will hope the president think twice to rehire that person for another cabinet position. It doesn't look good. You know, if it was bad enough for you for Saga, It should just remain that way. So, I mean, so we all try to come up with ideas. I have no axe to grind with anyone. We all want Sierra Leone for progress. In fact, left with me, I keep saying Sierra Leone is in the 19th century. We're still struggling to get into the 20th century, and the world is into the 21st century. That's how far behind we are. I want to see Sierra Leone at the tail end of the 20th century, getting ready to enter the 21st century.
All right.
This is my wish for the country. So I don't buy into this tokenism. When you then do little thing, mediocrity for where we stand at. No, we're as competent as any other people in the world. So we can do more for people. We can give them a better life. You know, so I don't contribute to these little things who depend. We need for the one way to come on here, where to go abroad, we want for rule, we should hold their feet. I mean, where to go in a Salone, we want for rule. We not forgive them a break. We for hold them feet to the fire because they know better. If they don't add anything to what's in the media and that, then they go for exploit the people, they should be embarrassed and they should be shamed. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Professor.
Thank you. I want to wrap up with this way forward. One, the hope is that the Parliament will step up to the responsibility. We could get supposedly three branches of government. Parliament, your hearings and investigations. The hope is the minister who is responsible for energy will be called by the committee in the Parliament when they do that for find out actually what happened because they're part of the work. I also want to assure all my listeners them, if anybody they ever thinks away me can social media, are they play to the gallery, are they look for the popular, are go on in everybody in good books, you need for get that out. Disabuse your mind from that. Here is what I do. I think I will do what my instincts tell me. And the reason why they do that, are totally unbeholden to any of them political parties, SFPO, APCO, this, because I not see nothing. So me politics, they can always not tell people that they repeat I get 11 body. Now a politics we're grounded in principle. Meaning I not get a permanent friend, I not get a permanent enemy, I get a permanent interest. Today I will talk fine for you. Tomorrow, rapidly I criticize you. So the one them way actually they misconstrue me your way of doing politics. That's fine. I understand. I accept that, and I welcome the criticism. Now for wrap up, Salone go only come out from point A to point B. Not to which political parties they will bring go. Not to the leaders they will bring go. You will bring the worst person who can lead with. Every day I don't postulate this. I mean postulation. This say the only way when Salone they come out from point A to point B, we get for be a nation where believe in nothing past the supremacy of the rule of law. We get for be that nation there. Somebody begin talk say well, America election, not talk about America election. I just laugh to myself. We go compare America to Salone. In fact, we for even pass America. The reason is this. That same God will make the American people and the same God that makes Salone. But the difference is so the people of America, they believe in the rule of law. We not believe in the rule of law. We believe in the jungle mentality. That's all we believe. That the free for all, the jungle. But that we believe in. Now we will not go ever compare ourselves to. So to an extent, I will accommodate that person only in that line that we now the free for all family farm mentality. Everybody, America, everybody they submit to the dictates of the rule of law. Let nobody not mistake. You get bad people there now. Very bad people there. You're like Africa. Bad people there. Bad officials. But guess what? The law will put brakes on you. So when we decide, say the law will put brakes on we, We need to understand the positions that what they hold, not to divine right, neither not to circumstantial freedom, na honor and privilege. And I make we get guard rates. The guard rates are the laws. But once we decide for na sister, or na the pie picking we doomed. We will remain like this. It is not the leader who they bring per se, not to the person. We can bring the John Kennedy for good Salone, he can't go. But if John Kennedy decides say he not will be one who will submit to the rule of law, that's a waste of time. Now I mean that this country, they not they build campus on anybody personality. Now waiting the rule, waiting the law say, not waiting Kutubu say, now waiting the let the whole corona take over United States. November, the first Tuesday in November, everybody they go vote. Because the one man will go left, where corona no go to America, he will go vote because that's what the law say. So that's United States. So as at the end, and this I want to tell everybody, where Kutubu kana ya Sadot of Homo, I know they appeal to the gallery, I know they look for popularity. My views are never going to be tailored for the idiosyncrasies of people. So what's going to happen? The issues are going to be called as I see them. Now I don't make sure say me not to and anyway party level. The same way where they criticize APC, the same way they criticize APC. But people they just selective in how they listen to. They want hear me criticism of the other. But I can understand. So again, I want to everybody we can today them me critics and this is not part of the democracy. We for accept this. We not expect to say that we all they will put you in at the seat of Mount Everest. No, they must have but that they write that for disagree with what Kutubu particularly said that they inalienable right and constitutional right, and for that I commend them for that and not continue. Now the only way this will make progress is Salone. Thank you very much for audience.
Thank you all. Thank you all. So we don't come to the end, and we will conclude by this and saying early hours of the 18th of July 2020, 5 young Sierra Leoneans met their death. Their life was ended just because of a generator where they say for transfer from one to another. How did we get to die? Did they deserve to die? That is the question. And who is to be held accountable? Who are them for all accountable for this kind of way? Who gave the orders? We system get for begin work. We institution then get for begin work to the people. Those are the cry of the people who that's for be held accountable. There are people that have given orders to shoot, to kill. And we they ask the government, we they ask with parliaments them, they need inquiry and that, and we need to see people them being fired. We need to see compensation for those families because we should not, we for begin ask the questions why. Why does this have to happen? Why do we have to sit silently by and watch these things? Why does our people have to live substandard life? Why? We get for begin ask the questions, right? If we want to see the change where we want. Just like rightfully Kutubu said, the rule of law, nobody is above the law. Everybody is accountable under the Constitution, just like where everybody has the right to life and freedom. So we cannot be because you not like this or because Namid in a power, I get for say I get the power for take somebody in life or citizen them for begin afraid. You know, I mean, we have to hear, we have to pass this. We are better than this. We are better than this. We don't go through senseless war because people were grieving and were aggrieved or things that when they don't do them may end up to think. We don't want to build and breed this kind of environment no more. The rivalry gets for stop. The mission is Sierra Leone. And to the president of Sierra Leone, some of these people, and I will say it again, sir, you have to let them go. Some of these are not competent in their jobs. No, we get for do after action review, we get for do waiting and call and how the people and they do not work performance review check, whatever you call it. We get for do and some of these people give them letter of reprimand where they're not going to return and hold positions because we don't need this. We need for go, Mr. Shillon rightfully say, We're in the 19th century and the world is heading to the 21st century and we don't even reach the 20th century yet. We're still behind. The question now is 1975, I was in class 7, St. Anne's Primary School, House Street. They took us on a tour to Bumbuna. 30 days, we're not able to get hydroelectric power. There are other sources of electric power. There's solar. Why we not going to have solar thing there, like especially critical areas there, like down there when at the entry port of Sierra Leone? Why we not have solar panel them? We're going to supply light. Why somebody get for die because of a generator? Why we get for go through this? Why? 1,000,001 questions, why? And it is our right to ask the questions why. With leadership, then get for step up. We need to heal. We need to heal. This is not about APC. This is not about LSP. This is about Sierra Leone issues. It's about be you turn tomorrow. It could be you tomorrow. Not say today na mi party sidom. It could be your turn tomorrow. We don't want that for Tonangi and Tonangi when nothing they do for the people. We want our country to go forward. We want our people to live a better life. We want to bring back the middle class to Sierra Leone. All that stuff, the development, the government and the opposition and everybody get for work together. The citizens, we get for heal. We get for heal. Because where's the love? Where's the spirit of 1961 with the independence? Where's that April 27, 1961? The spirit of say, we are going to take care of ourselves. We are going to look out for one another. The people, let we see truth and let we call them the way we will see them. Those young people don't have to die. Somebody made a mistake. Somebody made the wrong call. Somebody not deserve leadership. And somebody needs to be accountable. And then for say today, I love you all. Thank you all so much for joining us. And, you know, we hear people and they say, you know, that the first time, you know, we come early because we can get people from Freetown, we can take for Carolina. Maybe we go consider that. We don't know it. We will not give you anything guarantee, but we will see to include more people, especially the people in Europe. So thank you so much. I love you all. Go beyond beautiful. Go beyond you. Go make a difference in the world. Go touch somebody's life. Go help them get or go light a candle. Let me heal, man. What is this world? If we gain the whole world and lose we soul, you know, where's the hate? Let me heal. Let me heal. It is okay to belong to different parties. It is okay to belong to different groups. But when it comes for the good of the whole, we surrender some things to come together for let the masses of the people enjoy. So I love you all. God is love. Like I can always say, if I shine today, don't jealous me. I don't walk by me. You should go walk by you. Because tomorrow, like how the sun they shine by me, it will shine by you, the clouds shine by me. So I love you all. And remember, God is love. And I salute you and I say I'm out. Thank you, and God bless we all. Thank you.
Why do a website when you can create an app for your business for free? Yes, with TAV App Maker, you can make an app as easy as pie. It only takes a few minutes. Simply choose a design template you like, add the features you want, and once you are happy with the results, publish it to Google Play and Apple Store. So your clients can download your app. Go to TAVAppmaker.com and create your free app today.